which just puts you into even more negative outcomes. But you get a nice commission check at the end of the day, and that's all they really care about. You could roll this into any one of the manufacturer dealerships. Another one of the trends that I see pretty often, especially when it's a non-luxury brand.
So check this out. If I was covering this emblem, what would you call this vehicle here? What would you say it is? It seems pretty obvious, right? It would be a BMW. What is it? It's not.
I knew it was a Volkswagen, recognized that horrible infotainment system instantly, not even close to a BMW. 50,000 miles and the check engine light comes on. Nobody would have thought that was a BMW. I mean, it's just another way to try to persuade people into the Volkswagen brand, making it look like it's some sort of luxury car. But the other point that I thought was made is that almost everything looks the exact same. It seems like every new car has the same diamond-stitched leather interior and the same looking infotainment screen. They are all similar now, and people are finding more and more issues when it comes to this new tech.
There's 3 automotive trends that need to go away, and this Volvo VX30 has all of them. The first one's right here. There are 4 windows, like a traditional car, in this VX30, but there's only 2 window switches. So to toggle between the front and the rear, I have to first hit the rear switch, and then I can lower the rear window. The second, there's no gauges in front of me, so everything is handled by a single screen. Your parking settings, your speedometer, even your turn signals pop up on the center screen. And that just takes away your attention from the road to be looking at this screen. And number 3 is this fixed glass roof. This is beautiful, lets in a lot of light, but there's no shutters or shade in here. And to add insult to injury, Volvo will sell you a $200 covering that matches the interior that you can install in here and stow away when you don't need it. I know I said 3, but here's a bonus one. Lack of physical controls everywhere. In this one, there's no volume dial, and there's even no buttons for your glove box. Open that up, I have to go here and hit this button, and there you go.
So imagine the first clip with the shortage and smoking coming from the screen on the Kia. If that happened with this Volvo,
I mean, you gotta turn your car on and do everything.
Use it. This car is such a shame for Volvo. They used to be the leader in safety, and then they produced this. Shameful for any manufacturer, but especially Volvo, who cared about safety. We have another comment here. Someone else said it, but it was a huge mistake to try to turn these cars. I think it is a perfect example we could look at real quick.
For any of you guys who've never taken off the seat back of a Wagoneer, here's your front right seat back. All that got above the use.
That's the seat.
Yeah.
Why?
This credit card has an interest rate that's really, really low. How low? This low. The credit card that's in your wallet right now probably has an interest.
Yeah.
Imagine the forums in 30 years when all those lines dry rot. The new Lexus GX 550s have a TSB for the pass side front seat massagers not working. So I commonly have to take those seat backs off. It looks like something straight out of Terminator or spin-off. Car repair is basically just IT now. Over-engineered plastic garbage is why I'm refusing to buy any car manufactured past 2012. And I know that's the answer for so many people. Get a Honda, get a Toyota that's older, which I do agree with overall, but there will be a certain period of time where that's just not viable anymore. And I mean, buying a modern Honda or a Toyota would be the substitute, but it's really just not the same. I have a clip up on screen of a Honda product that if you actually go to work on has a bunch of GM parts. So that's why new Hondas are failing, so it lost its reliability. Thank God they stopped making these Prologues, so that's what it was, a Honda Prologue with other manufacturers' parts and had a bunch of problems. Another similar clip here, POV, your brand new car breaks down 2 hours into your road trip in the middle of nowhere. If you take a look, it's one of the Toyota and it breaking down. Toyotas have been messy lately. I thought Toyota was supposed to be the most reliable brand. I mean, again, overall, they would have less problems than a lot of other manufacturers today, but it definitely doesn't make them bulletproof like they were before.
Hey everyone, we're back again with another super high mile. Look at that, 513,000. That beats my last one of 400. Believe it? And check it out. What you guess? It's a Toyota. It's a Tacoma manual.
And as you can see by the wheel, it is clearly an older model, not a fancy diamond hand-stitched leather wheel, just something that works, and made it to a 500,000 miles. That's when Toyotas were built to last, and my 2005 Toyota Sequoia with 550,000 miles still in great condition.
Damn
The
right.
new ones will never see it. 2006 Silverado Duramax, 782,000 miles, towing a 3-car wedge loaded daily. Again, an older car, 2006 Tacoma,
I take care of my
510,000
shit.
miles. There were a lot of comments like that, very similar.
Then they're gonna
Also,
want it
like
back.
from you, my old
Trying to get me a new
1987
one.
Acura Integra.
I'm like, nah,
finally
give me a
called
new
it
one of
quits
this
at
shit.
645,000 miles. Got it at
Second gen.
200,000 miles for $300.
Old new
So we're gonna
style.
end this clip with a little bit of de-influencing. We've heard it a couple times before. I got my dream car. It wasn't what I hoped. I think the term dream car has really lost a lot of its value overall. Many people's apparent dream cars are just the new shiny thing that would impress a lot of people, primarily something luxury. And a few years later, when the facelift model comes out, that becomes their dream car, and the cycle keeps continuing. But
It was
we
a
can take
Toyota.
an example from
They
this
might have a
one.
flat tire though.
A green car and now
Easy
I'm
buddy.
getting rid of it.
Stay on your side, my
It's a
boy.
Mercedes AMG GT53. Why are you getting rid of it, Nick? I'm glad you asked. Well, reason number one, it's not as exciting as it once was, or as I thought it was going to be. When I first got it, very exciting. Loved driving it. People would tell me how nice it was. That was cool. Never had a car that anyone ever said, that's a nice car. That felt nice. But then it faded away. That feeling of excitement faded away. And it's a good thing. I've realized that no thing outside of me will ever make me happy, ever. Now, it makes you
There it
wonder,
is.
if I am not excited about the car, it's been less than a year. Why did I really buy it? Was it because I wanted it so bad and I loved the car so much? Or did I just want other people to know that I could buy it?
So I would say for a majority of the cases that we saw, that is the exact reason why it was purchased. External validation is something that so many people crave right now. And unfortunately, people are suffering the consequences because of these poorly built vehicles. And at the end of the day, people are still purchasing. So the companies and manufacturers aren't learning any lessons. They just keep pumping out new models. Nothing's going to change unless YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now. But this video, if you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Customize!
Are you guys?
Residents are demanding more surveillance along our bayous after another body is found in a Houston waterway.
Police say a woman's body was found in Buffalo Bayou near Commerce and Milam Streets downtown last night. This is the 6th body recovered in less than 2 weeks from bayous across town. 5 of the deceased have now been identified.
Orco Man Live downtown in Orco, our viewers have been very vocal about what they want to see in response to this. Tell us.
Yeah, and our comment sections on social media are filled with people saying more surveillance cameras are needed along the bayou. City leaders tell me that
speed is getting a drift car. I spent the last couple months acting in a movie directed by Sun Kang called Drifter. On that set, I was surrounded by some of the most dedicated, obsessive, hardcore, recreational drifters. These guys are some of the best in the world at drifting for fun. And I gotta tell you guys, I got bit by the freaking bug. Maybe I'm going through a midlife crisis, or maybe I've wanted to learn to do something for a long time.
Midlife
but for some
crisis.
reason, I've been too afraid to take that first step. Well, that fear ends today. life's too short. Okay, maybe it is a midlife crisis. When I was on set, I had a ton of conversations with some very cool and qualified dudes. I probably talked the most with this guy. Ilya, welcome to the garage.
Hello.
Ilya is my neighbor. He's also the co-founder of Final Bout, co-founder of IND Distribution, drift fundamentalist, and the current frontrunner for my favorite new friend of 2025. Yeah, I give that award out every December. We've come up with a list of what we think are the 10 best drift car options for a guy like me. And one of these cars will be my first drift car. So let me know which one you guys think we should go with. First up, we're starting with the legend itself. The car that arguably started drift culture. The car with the deepest drifting lore. The Toyota AE86 Corolla. It has endured, forged, and still guides drift culture to this day. Whether it's the Drift King, Kaiichi Tsuchiya, Initial D, or the dozens of iconic 80s and 90s JDM builds, the AE86 truly is the heart of drifting. It's a bit underpowered, but that's what gives it the aggressive driving style that it is known for. It is one of the most aggressive of all drift cars to drive, requiring full commitment and dedication to conserving momentum, making legendary drivers like Ueo so iconic. What are we looking for in like a good drift?
What, in my opinion, we should be looking for is, first of all, price of the car. Parts availability is the second one. And then also the ability to style the car. And then I guess the final one really is how reliable or how fragile it is.
So 8.6, I think when a lot of people think of a drift car,
They think of an 8.6. I've driven a few, and it's some of the most fun I've ever had driving a car in my life. Not friendly. The car costs a bunch of money. On top of that, the repair parts, body parts, not to mention the mechanicals, any older car, you get a lot of parts for you. Getting parts is a pain in the ass.
Toyota A86, you pick these up from like $10,000, $25,000.
That's for a beginner grade car, right? Like when you look at perfect examples of really, really nice ones, they go upwards to like $50,000.
So let's say I bought an 8.6 today. What should I do to it to go to the track?
And you've somehow found a stock. Yes.
yeah. I found the perfect one.
Step one, buy a lottery ticket because you're very fortunate. Weld the diff, seat, steering wheel, put some stiff suspension on it, and you're good to go.
Up next are two cars that are essentially the same car, much like Ilya and his friend. They are the newest viable drift cars on this list, and they exist specifically because of the legacy of the A86 and Initial D. I am talking about the Scion FRS and Super BRZ. The updated 2017 to 2020 cars are still pretty expensive, but the 2012 to 2015 models are getting below 10K. So what are the pros?
So the pros are, it handles awesome. It does make enough power to drift. It's got air conditioning.
Yeah.
It's got a stereo. It's got a nice interior.
That's one of the main reasons I would consider this car. It's pretty new. The interior is a pretty nice place to be. Like, nice place to be. Like AC, like racetracks, at least in California, are in the middle of the desert and they're like 120 degrees. Yeah, they're a reasonable starter car, but they do come with some caveats.
First, the car's pretty expensive still. The trans is a little weak. The axles tend to break even when they're NA. The engines don't have the best reputation. It's not necessarily a car that you can drift right out of the box mechanically.
I'm like in the middle of liking how these look or not.
You know, my beef with it from a style standpoint is just that it's kind of short. Like,
yeah, I think that's it.
It's a little short wheelbase, but there's a few beautiful. The Benz one has a rotary in it.
That's sick. These are really sick.
Yeah, I mean, all of these cars are super beautiful, and so you could definitely see, like, you can make a really sick one if you want.
If we decide that we're going to get one of these. Guy goes out, drops 15, 20K. What's he got to do to go out and enjoy it?
It's not much. Tons of my friends have driven these basically totally stock. But yeah, I mean, really, it's another one of those cars where it's like seat, steering wheel, coilovers, and you're pretty much good to Keep going.
Actually, dude, like I know that we're talking about why this one is so far down on the list. It wasn't a consideration until
But now you're looking at
I'm
them.
looking at them like,
damn.
honestly, dude, these are pretty sick.
If you've got a little bit more cash than like the average 19 or 20-year-old beginner,
Which, as a 40-year-old man, I do. Proud to report, I think I do.
if you qualify, then pick one up.
I'm starting to think that we ranked this one too low on the list. All right, next car. You guys are gonna love this one. We all know the all-wheel drive monster GTR, but there are cheaper rear-wheel drive versions that make for great drift cars. We are talking, of course, about the Nissan Skyline. There are 3 generations, as you guys might know: R32, R33, and R34. The most popular for drifting is the R32 GTST. It was followed by the R33 GTST and the R34 GTT. They look so friggin'
Dude, for the sake of time, we're grouping R, A, and C chassis in one category.
R, what's A?
A is a Safiro, Nissan Safiro. They really only came in like a relevant way to drifting in the A31.
I say, what's a C?
C. So C is C33 and C35 Laurel. C33 is the only sedan I've ever seen that comes with no B pillar.
That's so sick.
Like none at all. There's just like an A pillar and a C pillar, and between that is like one big convertible.
We're talking about parts availability. We're talking about mechanical parts availability. What happens if you like break something in the drivetrain or like around the car? But also with drift specifically, it's body part availability.
Yeah, so like the R chassis is probably the easiest one.
Because there's a lot of moving in.
They were more popular, right? But it's still pretty hard. A31's a little weird because it's used as a taxi cab in places like Thailand. So you can find A31 stuff on eBay. Like I used to have an A31, and the thing that I was always worried about when I drove it is really stuff like the windshield, or like quarter panels, or a V-pillar, right? Like radiator support. How do you get any of that to crash the car?
The one thing that Elliot talks about all the time that a lot of people don't think about is windshields. Where are you going to get a windshield for an A31? They never came here. So you know what you got to do? You got to get someone in Japan, boat, and ship it across the ocean. That is a big old piece of glass sitting on a boat for weeks. Good luck with that, Jack. I tell you what, good luck with that, Jack. Let's look at some of these fools. Dude, you know what? I think I'm recognizing a theme with this video. Every time we look at some,
You want one?
I'm gonna be like, I want that one. That's the one I want. Dude, I like this one.
Yeah, this thing is sick. It's an R32. It's pretty simple. It's got BN on it. It's got an Origin GT wing. Yeah, and then this is the famous C33. They don't have a B pillar, so if you see one with both windows down, it'll blow your mind.
Dude, because of that, I really think Aurora is the car. So pros, a big body coupe or sedan drift car is very cool. This is the first sedans we've been looking at. You know, Nissan suspension parts are nice and readily available. They look so sick. Cons, body parts are pretty hard to find. I think I would be too scared to wreck it.
Yeah.
I think I would love it too much. You know, I'm starting to think that this shouldn't be ranked higher than the BRZ.
It's possible that we misranked the BRZ.
I think maybe we misranked the BRZ and we might be apologizing for the rest of the video.
But look how sick this
I know, but it is so sick. Next drift car. Have you ever wanted a 4-door, turbocharged, manual, 4-door Toyota?
As a big DIY guy, I thought I could do insurance myself.
The Beast Insurance, extra protection from beasts, Bigfoots, and
Manual, 4-door Toyota Supra? Enter the JZX90 and JZX100. These cars form the backbone of drifting in Japan. They're basically built for drifting because you get a 1JZ GTE and a 5-speed manual R154 gearbox from the factory. Biggest difference between the 90 and the 100 is that the 100 got an upgraded 1JZ VVTi. Both make excellent and durable drift cars with
only minor setbacks. We never got them here, so they are all right-hand drive, and you're going to be importing one or buying an imported one, so keep that in mind. And you're going to be paying between $20,000 for a 90, north of $30,000 for a 100, but these things can look so sick. 3 pros.
The 1J makes a lot of power and a lot of mid-range, so it's awesome for drifting. They drive real well from a drifting standpoint. They feel good. They look sick.
My character's car in the movie is a JCX-9.
Yeah, they've got some mechanical issues that people need to address. They're pretty expensive to buy. They're pretty expensive to upkeep. The plus side of that is that it's not a beginner car. Any JZX really can be a very serious car to drift. So you can start with it, then you can upgrade it over time. You don't have to like swap cars. You're not gonna upgrade necessarily.
If you're playing the long game, it's like owning a house.
It's the size of a house as well. So here on the left we have Daigo Saito's 90. He's usually a JZX 100 guy, but this is one from way back in the day when he started competing.
And then the one on the right,
it's Daigo's 100 Mark II. Jump drift and I'm
now that I'm looking at these, I'm starting to think maybe a JZX is the one for me.
So JZXs, in my opinion, are considered a beginner car. Pretty expensive. They sometimes need a little bit of love mechanically to work perfect, and they're imported.
So what's it take to get JZX ready drifted?
Essentially nothing. Put a diff in it and like a seat or levers.
You've mentioned seat for every single one of these cars.
It's the most important thing.
That is the most important mod.
From a performance standpoint, yeah. You can't really learn too well if you're moving around, especially when you're going to punch kick and your foot's like trying to hit the pedal, but you're physically moving, right? You don't want that. I mean, the seat is obviously the most important piece of recreational technology that you can put in front of.
Recreational technology. Put it on, go on.
And we did. A lot of you guys ask, hey, what is speed? Is it cars? Is it bikes? Is it clothes? Cameras? The answer is yes. Speed is everything fun and the stuff you use to do it, i.e. recreational technologies. And to kick it off, we're launching a special Recreational Technologies t-shirt, available now on recreationaltechnologies.com, the slick new website that we just built in literally 12 minutes using GoDaddy Aero. GoDaddy Aero is an all-in-one AI-powered tool that helps you launch and grow your business online in minutes. Take it from me. We literally did this thing in minutes. You just answer a few questions, it builds you a first draft website, including domain name, logo. It'll even make social posts for you and a whole bunch of other stuff. The AI tools make customizing the site super easy and way less intimidating than starting from a blank page. You ever just like stared at a blank page, just wondering when your brain is going to kick in, you're going to come up with an idea? Well, those days are over, my friend, because we got GoDaddy Aero now. We spun this site up in literal minutes and she's pretty solid. If you have an idea for a site, you want to sell your stuff, post your music, or just seem more professional, put your resume or reel on our website. And to do that, try out GoDaddy Aero. You can just click the link below, or you can scan this QR code.
I don't know where SR is going to put it.
Speaking of starting stuff that you have no business doing and aren't good at, back to drift cars.
Alright, next drift car. Somebody must have seen all the LS swapped S13s, E46s, and RX-7s and thought, what if we built an entire car around that engine? And that's how the Corvette was invented. In a lot of ways, it's an incredibly ideal drift car.
These things are obviously really serious sports cars, right? They work really good right out of the
They're all fiberglass.
Yeah.
All generations have stout, powerful Chevy small blocks, a nearly unbreakable rear-mounted transmission, easily adjustable suspension from the factory, and there are plenty of driftable Vet generations from later C4s, every C5, every C6, even newer C7s, and you can buy parts at AutoZone. That's true. Biggest barrier to entry with these is they are pretty expensive. Like a C5 is going to cost for a big one around $15,000. Like a C6 0
Aero 6 is still upwards of like 35K, but once you have one, it doesn't take a lot to make them drive well, although it is hard to make them look well. I don't want to get yelled at. I don't think they're very cool.
I think these are cool.
These are very
the
cool.
ones that we're looking at, they're cool. And
They
like,
are
what is
cool.
it? Like,
These are very cool.
It's like you put cool wheels on it. You have
You
good
hammer it
fitment.
to the ground.
Yeah, that one is Danny's for 945. I think it's super cool. He's got like a cool lip on it. He's made some Aero headlights. He's got a GT wing. He's got crons on it. It's fun. As more people drift Corvettes over time, people are going to develop cool Aero for him. They're going to make him look more interesting. If you've got a little bit of money and you're willing to be a pioneer, you should go ahead and get a Corvette. Because from a mechanical standpoint, it's not going to let you down.
One thing I do like about it is that they're made to be protected.
Oh yeah, so speaking of American cars, we have an honorable mention for it's not the Corvette, it's the Mustang.
So you guys might be surprised that the Ford Mustang didn't make the official top 10 list, considering the fact that it has been so successful in professional drifting. Why is that?
Yeah, so I mean the pro cars are.
So last night, New Year's 10. Honestly, nothing better.
Successful in professional drifting. Why is that?
Yeah, so I mean the pro cars are fully right. Great cars. Fewer people drifting. Specifically for the Mustang.
Theoretically, this could be a very good car.
It should be good, and
This car might be a little controversial. There is the old saying, Miata is always the answer, and drifting is no exception. They drift extremely well, they are lightweight, and if you keep the tires modest, the transmission and diff are. These things were like, this is
good suspension layouts. In my opinion, especially for a beginner car, the engine's got more than enough power to start driving, and they're really reliable. They're really reliable. People beat on these things for years.
And they look really funny. Say, especially there's that entire team of Miatas at Final.
Yeah,
like look how look at those little guys, like little minions, just going to war.
If you look at this team, like to me, these are some of the best looking cars in drifting in the U.S. just from like a pure style standpoint in any category.
How would you say style ranks in like the importance?
For me, it's number one.
Really?
Yeah, it's number one. Because
over more than like power and like.
Yeah, of course. Because here's the thing: like, why do we drift, right? Like, let's figure that out. Why do we drift? We drift because it looks cool, right? Like, because drifting looks sick. And so, like, if the act of drifting looks sick, then shouldn't the car look sick too?
Yeah. I mean, talking to you guys about getting one of these cars, and the only conversation we've been having is what body kit I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
It is like pretty fun.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like 13.
Yeah. I mean, that's the
kind
whole
of
point.
amazing. What wing are you gonna get?
Yeah.
What body kit are you gonna get? There's a ton of reasons that you would want to drift a Miata. What are some things that you might want to look at?
Yeah, so if you want to start upgrading the car for more power, it's a little tough to put good drive things. I guess one of the biggest cons really is that it's just a small car.
Also, we're big guys.
We're huge.
Little car, big guys.
How tall are you? Like 7'6"?
Well, you're 7'4".
Yeah, you're 7'5".
Yeah, I'm 7'6".
Yeah.
This next one is going to have everyone screaming about reliability in a bad way. But according to Ilya, they're actually excellent starter drift cars. We are talking about the Mazda RX-8.
All right. Let me make my case.
He drove one here today.
I did drive one here
Parked
today.
in the driveway.
It's
right
Mazda speed. It's so sick. So here's the deal with the RX-8. RX-8s are super freaking cheap. Parts are everywhere, and most of the repair parts are $100. You can drift them stock. They have 2 oil coolers from the factory. They have an LSD. They have a manual trans. They make like 200 horsepower.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Really?
Actually, you want to ride by them?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're sick.
So why don't people like them?
Because they're scared of rotary. And because this is not a turbo rotary. To every one of you guys that is worried about the rotary engine, you're partially right.
Yeah.
But that's how you know you can believe him.
Mazda do a couple of things to make the RX-8 engine work, and it doesn't last quite as long. You're looking at like maybe 120,000 miles between service intervals.
But like a service interval is like complete rebuild.
Yeah, you're overhauling.
Okay.
Yeah, you're taking the engine out, rebuilding. But between 0 and 120K, it's going to run really sick. No matter if you drift it, road race it, whatever, they're super reliable.
So this thing's about 200 horsepower, similar to a BRZ.
Yeah.
Is this the move?
I mean, it's going to be my next drift car for sure.
Yeah.
I hope this video doesn't change anyone's mind. Look, we don't want to drive the price.
We should just go get one today.
There's one.
Should we just go get it?
There's one. It runs sick. It's sick.
How much
for
is
like
it?
$1,000 or something. Like it was like $1 or $2 grand.
Let's go get it.
It's up.
Should we just go buy a fucking RX-8? Zach's pissed. Zach's like, he doesn't do this. This car is similar for Zach and Jesse as like we're all roommates and I'm getting a dog. You know? And they're like listening to us talk about what kind of dog I'm gonna get. We're talking about Miata and I'm like, I don't know, maybe that Chihuahua is pretty cool. And they're like, okay, cool. I don't really like Chihuahuas, but that's a pretty cool dog and it won't really affect us. Like RX-8. And so these are like, yeah, okay, I might get a Great Dane. Oh, maybe I'll get a Beethoven. Maybe I'll get a big old Beethoven. Oh, Jesse's worried I'm going to get a Beethoven.
I think the 8 is more of like a race or not race thing. I think rabies.
Is this dog gonna,
you know, but it runs real fast.
Yeah, it's guys, look how fast this dog is, and it's so cheap. I'm honestly scared because I think I like this. I want to drive yours.
Wait till I give you a ride.
Yeah, I am very curious to see how sick they can look because, like we said, styling is very cool.
Have I got some cars in store
those
for
are
you?
cool.
Yeah, so this first one is the JIC RX-8.
I like how sharp the front is.
It's by Vertex, the Aero.
Yeah, we like Vertex.
And then a hand-speed RX-8.
Grade 19! Grade 19! 19! Boom! DraftKings Casinos combining two things I love. Touchdowns and bonus riders. We're going deep with 1,000 slots and counting. We're talking spin moves everywhere. Jackpot, baby!
Get a free chance at a daily reward every day on DraftKings Casino. The crown is yours.
Speed RX-8.
Very cool. RX-8 Pros. Cheap?
Cheap. Very cheap. They have a really good suspension layout and they're long wheelbase, so they drive really well. They can drift right out of the box, so you don't have to really modify it at all, except for like seat and steering wheel drift. And they can look sick. That's another pro. They're easiest thing.
Alright, cons.
You got to rebuild the engine every 120K or so. The coil packs suck, and you have to service the coil packs on a regular basis.
This one's kind of cool because it is the cheapest.
Oh, and it's got 4 doors, and it's got AC, and it's got a 6 stereo. It's a real car, just like a BRZ.
Yeah, I like the AC aspect, and I also like that it's so cheap. I think that's pretty funny. And of course, we can't talk about the RX-8 without talking about the RX-7. Your drift car is an FD RX-7.
It is.
You've had it for ever.
10 years. It's been hands down the most reliable car I've ever had, by far, by like a huge margin. But the thing about FDs, and to a lesser extent FCs, is they're just no longer starter cars. Getting into an FD is at least 30 grand, if not more. And the one downside of the FD, the transits when you drift them, like pretty random. And so I CD09 swap money to get rid of that problem. But like to do the 350Z transmission swap is like an $8,000, right? So this is just like not a big difference.
So we're going to give the FD and FC RX-7s honorable mention because you got to mention them, and it's an honor. Up next is a car that we all know and love. I'm talking about the E36 and E46 BMW. Both generations are a really good starting point. Really durable engines, really good transmissions. They shift really well. Very durable diffs. And as long as you reinforce the rear subframe on both gens, you can start drifting pretty easily. Post-2002 cars are especially desirable because you can get the 330i, which came with a 3-liter inline M54 engine that made 220 power, 46, kind of like out of that.
But the good non-M pretty cheap.
Yeah, pretty cheap and pretty plentiful. Ilya.
Well, I think they're all right. Yeah, look, mechanically, these things are good, right? Aside from the fact that the cooling system is made of plastic.
Literally.
Which was a strange move. The one thing that's kind of funky about BMW in that era is that the steering racks on some of the cars were a little slow. So a lot of people like to get Z3 racks for these cars.
We have a Z3 rack one too.
There you go. As you know, that means you have to source a Z3 rack. There weren't that many Z3s made.
And even fewer of them that are willing to give up their rack.
Oh, great. E30, that's 4 turns lock to lock or whatever it is. You can't really drift it without doing this. And even some of the E36 and E46, I know a lot of people say it's like almost a must-have. So that's the one little caveat to making this a beginner car. You might have to steer it around the thing right off the jump.
Both you and Ben have said that these are hard to style. These ones are pretty cool.
We have some friends that have made very cool BMW drift cars. But what you'll notice about these cars is every detail has been touched. That's true of a lot of these examples, right? Like a lot of the cars that I'm giving you are kind of like the full tune version of the car. But I think with the E36 and E46, they just don't look like much of a drift car when they're stopped.
E36 Pros.
Very mechanically robust.
There's a ton of them.
There's a ton of them.
Pretty cheap.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap.
Parts availability.
Good.
To the moon.
Really good.
Cons. Steering rack.
Steering rack is, I would say, maybe the biggest.
Not the most exciting looking drift car.
Yeah, and the potential for having to reinforce the subframe.
Mostly an E46. But I like them. Up next might be the definitive drift car. I am talking, of course, about the Nissan. Yes. People talk about the Drift Axe. They're talking about this car. This was my first car ever that I ever owned.
How much was it when you bought it?
I bought it in 2001 when it was less than 10 years old. I paid $3,000 for it.
That sounds very reasonable. How much do you think that car would cost now?
I'd say upwards of $25,000 in similar conditions. There are 3 relevant generations of S chassis: the S13, the S14, and the S15. Only the S13 and S14 made it to the US, while the S15s have to be imported, which they just became legal to do this year. There's a ton of parts for these everywhere. Huge aftermarket support. They do take a fair amount of work to make them into a powerful drift car. Stock KA car works as like a beginner car, and they hold up pretty well. They're just expensive because they're getting rare. An S13 is going to cost definitely over $10,000. S14 is going to be like $15,000 or more. But again, it's like the drift car.
It's the drift car.
Yeah.
The KAs are pretty good. They're a great motor to learn on. A lot of my friends learned on KAs, and
It's an NA stock.
yeah, totally. Again, like low power will make you a good driver for sure, because you have to learn how to actually drive the car. And when you do grow out of the KA, or when you outgrow that power level, you can definitely boost it. So you can start with this thing making low power, and then if you grow into it, you can just boost the motor you have. You don't actually have to take it out.
Maybe I'm considering that now.
Everyone knows it, but no one wants to admit it. Carrying in your waist while you're in a car, it's super uncomfortable. Not only does it jab your gut, but it puts 4 inches against your couple inches. So people put their gun.
Maybe I'm considering that.
And here's some notable examples. We've got S13 Coupe and 180SX or S13 hatchback.
Yeah. They all look so good.
And we have to mention, of course, the Koki 180SX. For those of you that don't know, you have to have a 3-finger gap on the headlight and a 2-finger gap on the rear wheel for the ride height of the car.
Those are the rules?
Those are the rules, as defined by Itai himself.
One thing that I find very enjoyable about talking to you guys is like, there is a lot of lore and beyond just like building and driving cars. It feels new in America, but it's also like a people thing. You know what I mean?
This is kind of like why we did Final Bout in the first place. We grew up watching Option and Drift Tengoku. The origin of drifting for us was watching these incredibly cool cars, like these beautiful sort of like masterpieces of drift cars. That's what we're here to remind you. This is what it looks like. This is the lore.
It's really similar to like anime.
Yeah. And also we're here to promote the watching of Option videos. Just watch Option. Watch every Option. You'll be fine.
S chassis pros.
great to drive. Tons of parts, like tons of parts. If you want exterior parts, mechanical parts, as many parts as you could ever want. Very reliable, really robust, and they're easy to work on.
There's a reason that these are the drift cons.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
That's the biggest con. The parts are getting rarer as people keep crashing the cars and consuming the spare parts. Once you start to upgrade the car, you also have to upgrade the transmission, the axles, stuff like that. Not many cons, really. They're pretty awesome. There's a reason they're high up on the list.
And then S13s are kind of old now.
Yes, yeah, S13s are old, S14s are old. Really, it's only S15s that are like new enough to be fresh. The problem with S15s is they were imported, right? So that means that the parts are harder to get. You're going to have to import stuff to fix the car when it comes to exterior body.
Yeah, you get into the shipping a big piece of glass across the Pacific. All right, we got 2 more cars left. We are almost to the end. Do you want a 4-door
manual,
cheaper Toyota Supra? Well, guess what, guys? You are in luck because there's a little car called the IS300. Stock NA 2JZ is a tank. The standard W55 5-speed manual holds up to stock power really well, and the diffs are pretty stout.
As an NA car, the IS300 is super good.
And then a lot of them came with LSDs from the factory.
And then
they can be had for between $5,000 and $10,000, but the prices are good. So act now.
They used to be a lot cheaper. They're definitely going up in price, and they're starting to get a little rarer, which is why they're not in the first place. They are an incredible starter car. They drift great. They're super good to learn on.
They look awesome.
They look good, and you don't have to work on it much because they're just that good.
Yeah, it's a Toyota.
Yeah, it's not going to get much better.
How's parts availability?
Good. Yeah, good. Like they're U.S. cars. They ship a ton of these. You can definitely get a Yankee card, HKS demo card. If you ask me what the coolest is, it's the TRDO one.
Almost every dude I bring up is like, yeah, super street. If we're talking about the IS300, we have to mention the SC300, which one of the most slept on, absolutely disrespected options in today. But it's one of these cars similar to the RX-8 that for some reason people are like, yeah, those aren't that cool. And because of that, they are so cheap.
Yeah, the downside of an SC is that it is a little heavy, especially compared to an IS. So you can totally drift it with an NA2. A bunch of my friends do. Our friend Julius drifts one with an automatic trans. That's pretty cool. For a beginner car, even if you get an auto one, you can still drive.
The IS300 Pros.
Very low.
Love that.
Good parts availability, and did I mention reliable?
Yeah.
It's reliable.
Cons.
It's get one while you still can, if you're good at it. It doesn't have a lot of cons. There's a reason why it's one of the better cars on the list, right? It's just like, it's pretty awesome for a beginner.
Guys, we have reached the final car on our list, and it might be the definitive banger, beginner, smart, and fun drift car. We are talking about the Nissan 350Z. It's got everything you need. It could be stylish, it's durable, it's affordable, it's got a reasonable amount of power, it's got great suspension layout, it's got a lot of aftermarket support. They also have like a lot of the parts that end up going on other drift cars on this list.
The diffs are good, the axles are good. Like the entire drivetrain is the upgrade drivetrain for the whole rest of the car.
Yeah. They made a ton of them. They made them for a lot of years, so you can find them for under $10,000 all day long. All Z's of this generation are pretty good, but if you really want the cream of the crop one, try and get one that was made between 2007 and 2009. Because it makes pretty decent power, you don't really have to do anything to the drivetrain to start drifting, or like for a while you're learning to drift.
So a lot of this too is like time to market, right?
Yeah.
Like the thing about the Z right now is that it's not particularly expensive. It's kind of, I think, probably at the bottom of its price curve, and then it's going to start going up. Right now, the Z is probably about as cheap as it's going to get.
Yeah, like I want a ton of other cars on this list. That's why they're on this list. but every time we talk about it, we always come back to the Z33. It just like makes the most sense. It's gonna have AC probably, you know, and you can drive it to the track. It's reliable. You don't have to do a lot to it. It's cheap to maintain. It's cheap to fix. It's cheap to buy. There's tons of parts.
These were two weirdly shaped or odd to make the cut in a regular pack of bacon, but bacon is bacon, baby.
When bacon's cut down to uniform strips, there's often trimmings left over. Misfits Market works with Diamond Ranch to package up all those delicious leftover bits to save them from going to waste. That's just one way Misfits Market delivers groceries you can feel good about. Sign up today to shop other rescued food and high-quality groceries delivered right to your door.
You have to be kind of careful styling it. I'm just gonna get to that. You might have a harder time finding one that's not like totally modified in a very, very weird. There's a lot of people who have owned and modified 350Zs that not a lot of people want to associate.
Don't ruin your Z, guys. Don't take the fenders off. Leave it how it is. Don't straight pipe it. Don't straight pipe your Z either.
Let's talk about the styling. These things get a lot of flack. I think they look pretty freaking sick. Yeah, like that.
This is the first example. Yeah, look at this thing, guys.
Also shopped. That's not that guy's real hair color.
I just want to explain that these photos have been in my collection for over a year.
Yeah, I'm glad they're finally seeing the light.
Yeah, and I've never shown these to anyone. And I just think this dude is so sick.
Yeah, this dude rules.
So the one on the right is a really good driver that comes to US Air in the Midwest all the time. He's got King's Arrow. He's got a really cool body plan.
A lot of the aftermarket front bumpers for these cars make them look like longer and sharper, which I am a fan of. As a guy who's built a lot of cars and really focused on subtlety, modifications that I have to point out to other people so that they know that I did them, I want to make something with a huge wing, a real sharp front end, and like a bunch of stickers on the side of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's fun about drift cars, right? Is you get to like actually let your hair down a little bit. You don't have to make the most served car. What is it? Fast H2O con? Yeah.
We don't have to shit on the other kind of cars that I like, okay? I'm not like totally abandoning my crew, okay? I'm just like trying to bridge the gap and enjoy some other stuff.
VW, huh?
You know your friend. Now you got cool friends. Those guys suck. I think people do kind of crap on Z33s a little bit, but I think it's like you said, I think they're at this like weird dip where they're not cool again yet. And it's sort of like baggy pants. Like baggy pants forever weren't cool.
And now they're back.
Yeah, now baggy pants.
Baggy pants are back.
We're calling it. Well, it's the same. It just makes too much sense to not be
much like a baggy pant.
Yeah, much like a baggy pant. Why are we wearing such pants?
Freedom of movement.
Yeah, that's why millennials aren't having kids.
Wear looser pants, get a Z, learn it. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy.
All right, so someone buys a Z today. What do they do?
Out a ton. Seat, steering wheel, coilerings. You can get a diff and weld it, or you can drift the factory diff. And the styling it properly. I think for a Z starts with good wheels and good fit.
If you get a Z, you are now accepting the responsibility to convince the rest of the world that this is not a car. So pros.
Very reliable. Drive great. Tons of. Not just reliable. It's infinitely style. Hard to make sound.
Kind of a bad.
To upgrade power, you're either doing a twin turbo kit, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But pretty different.
Pretty different.
Maybe nitrous. Could maybe do nitrous on the factory engine. I don't know. Don't listen to me.
Yeah.
This is just a thought.
Yeah, and I think that is a perfect place to end this advice video. Maybe nitrous, I don't know. Elliot, dude, thanks so much for coming by. We are buying a drift car. What I wanted has changed 9 times in this video. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think we should get. Let us know if you go for the smart option because it's smart, or if you're more attracted to the dumb, cool option. Go to speed.co, get yourself some merch. Follow Ilya. Check out at Final Belt on Instagram, at James Pumphrey on Instagram. I love you.
Stay tuned. I'm Angelo. We just got back from the most epic crash at drag week. Went 55 out, running street miles in Pennsylvania, hit a bunch of drag strips. Absolutely epic. We're completely smoked when we got back. We're kind of recovering right now. There's been a lot of picking up the pieces of that week. We're cleaning our trailer out. It's super gnarly. It's full of tools and everything. All that stuff's getting put away. Declan is scrubbing that thing now. Those epic drag week episodes will come out starting next week, but it's time for a whole new event. So we have brought back in my 89 Aston Martin V12 swap Mustang. Before Barb left, the idea was we'll stare at this thing and see what went wrong with the dyno. The motor is making a terrible sound. Honestly, the whole drivetrain was making a bunch of terrible sounds. We don't know what it is. So we can dig into that thing, but he's gone. I don't want to do something new. I wanted to get on the road and go pick up a fresh product because I just got my 2014 thing about a month ago, and it caused all sorts of damage, not to the frame or anything serious, but the whole front of this thing got wiped out. 2 radiators, the intercooler, the AC condenser, and an oil cooler all annihilated. Went to a local body shop. They followed the insurance company for a little bit, you know, just adjusted this and that, bumped the estimate up and up, and it came. Also chose to come out of pocket for a couple upgrades. I got a chrome grille, I got a chrome front and rear bumper, and a rear taillight fix. This thing is super minty now, and they did such a nice job. It looks like $1 million bucks. So what I wouldn't mind doing is hopping in here, cruising for a couple hours, and see if we can pick up a couple things. We've got a couple lines in the water on Marketplace right now. So we'll probably go out and grab some lunch and see if we can come up with anything. If not, we'll just jump into that V12. Alright, well, while we were at lunch, we found some pretty decent cars. The one I really wanted got back to us. Found me a second-gen Firebird, around $4,000. It doesn't run. Motor spin's free. We're going to head out now about 2 hours west and see if we get our hands on this thing and get an idea if it's a good buy or not. There's a couple, there's a few things to look out for. We're going to look at it, hopefully try to make a decent decision. But obviously, my ADD is running wild. Barb's gone. Got a new truck that's looking clean. We're going to hit the road. One quick thing that just showed up, which is awesome before we hit the road, because it's getting a little bit chilly now. We're into the fall in Pennsylvania, and we're talking about Brunt Workwear. Brunt is the sponsor of this video and a ton of our other ones because we love the company. We wear this stuff constantly. And talk about the sweatshirt I'm about to throw on. It's going to warm me up, but I'm going to be basically head to toe in front. These are my Oman boots. I wear them constantly. There's almost no break-in, super comfortable, and they've been super durable. I spent all of drag week in 2 different pair of Brunt pants because they're super lightweight and super comfortable. There's not much more I can say about this company. The stuff they make is awesome. I think it looks killer, and just pulling this out, it feels big and warm. The Shetland hoodie got like a quarter zip to it. It's wicked. If you look around, man, because we really do like it. It's super awesome workwear, and you know, it's just so durable. So I'm gonna throw this on. We're gonna hit the road. You can go to frontwear.com/staytuned10 right now and get $10 off your first order of $60 or more. I've used this stuff on the motorcycle, running around town. It's awesome. And if for some reason you don't like it, they will take it back. Which is cool. It's just they know they stand behind their product. And go out, get on the website, get the bus.
It's not too late to outgrow the family hairline. Through Hims, you can break the cycle and get the thicker, fuller hair of your dreams. Genetics started, but our range of personalized treatments can help you get ahead. Stop hair loss and regrow your hair in just 3 to 6 months with clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and oxygen. See why 79% of customers say they wish they started treatment through Hims early. Take control of your own hair destiny.
Go out, get on the website, get the bus. Alright, I hit the road, I grabbed cash, we stopped by the shop for a minute. I just wanted, and then we hit the road and stopped to get diesel and get out west of us about 2 hours looking at this Firebird. And we started getting a coolant light, and some alcohol when we were loading up the trailer, and now it's pretty clear. We're leaking coolant pretty bad. I can smell it. Pretty solid stream. Doesn't feel like there's much in the tubes here. Again, this thing's just been repaired. It just got back from the body shop. The deer hit every cooler. There's 2 radiators on this thing, so it hit them both. Must be hitting the fan and getting thrown around. No? You look at it? I'm looking at it. Coon said, oh, I can see the radiator is smacked. You can see it back here. Somehow the back of the radiator is cut up. The shroud is all gnarled. Maybe something loose, I guess. It picked something up and threw it, or the fan broke. You know, clearly we're not going to make it 180 miles to go pick this thing up. That's a bummer. I do believe this is like a real reputable body shop. The deer hit hard enough to knock this body up here. The frame rail, this is the body. Sort of like the rear rail. They chopped it, they sectioned it, they changed it. It wound up being like over $10,000 worth of damage. Some deer blasting out the front. They negotiated with the company to make sure we got all new coolers, all these different things, and it all looks fine. It's just something came loose, blasted into that radiator, and now we are barely going to be able to live it back to the shop. So we're not going to get to the head of the body shop too. We're going to hit the road before somebody hits this thing the way our luck is going, and we're kind of crammed in a Wawa parking lot. I think we're not far from the shop. We should get that done. So like I said, we're just so excited to dig into this V12 Mustang and see what's wrong with it. I've got the truck dropped back off at the body shop, so we're not trailering anything. And we're here, and we want to know what happened to this thing at the dyno. Now, this is a 5.9 liter Aston Martin V12 from like a 2000 or so DB7, I believe, and a couple other cars. Make around 420 horsepower. We've got it crammed in with a quick time bell housing and a T56 Magnum into my Fog Body Mustang, just to get you guys back up to speed. And a couple things are happening at the dyno. It's making 340, 350 wheel horsepower, I think, and it started making some noise. Getting this from Mike Knapp, who owns E-Town Raceway Park. His dad had been giving it by Ford. He wanted to ask him at the time. I really didn't want to have to replace this thing, and I was just absolutely heartbroken when it did start making noise in the dyno. Was it our fault? I don't know. We were trying to thrash, quick tune it, and get a number. We didn't have it charging it by itself. We didn't have it staying cool. All the stuff you don't want to do at the dyno, we did all of it. So, untested, the clutch wasn't broken in. This worst case scenario and total YouTube mentality of try to get the highest time you can and turn it off and, you know, try to save it. But I was standing in the dyno. I was kind of over top of the car, listening to the top end motor noise, and I got a million comments, and I appreciate all you guys and gals digging in and seeing what I'm saying. Coming out of the clutch. You should look at that. So I did go back and look, and sure enough, this thing is chugging and eating itself up and spewing out sparks while it's running. Now, it's an organic clutch, which the guys at Center Force kind of insisted on. They made us this whole custom flywheel to T56 from the V12 sort of setup. Did we have time to break it in gingerly for 250 miles? Of course not. That's just not how things go here. The car is barely legal. It's barely running. We didn't have a decent tune on it, so we didn't have the time. So none of that happened. We're gonna pull it out and see how bad it is. But sometimes, if clutch destruction is bad enough, it can swing around the bell housing. It can make all sorts of sound. It can be bad. So that's the first thing we're gonna dig into and see what's what.
Things I didn't know about Trade School Part 9. At Rosedale, it really is about you. Look, we judge our success on your success. And everyone has a different vision of their future. So whatever your path may be, we help you move to the light.
I'm excited for drag week videos. But it was both somehow like being on the road from going, I think this car was probably Copilot, we had a blast. Yeah, just screaming over that motor at each other the whole time. It's not. I know Finnegan's got like cool radios and his car's pretty quiet. We were straight cut rear end gears, dog box transmission, slammed, straight cut gears in that box, plus a NASCAR motor. You're plugged in, just screaming at each other for 4 days straight. It was, and every time I explain the whole thing to people, I'm like, it sounds miserable. But you're doing it. It's awesome. My best explanation of drag, why you should do drag week.
You don't love sleep?
Yeah. Do you hate sleep? Yeah. One of my favorite facts about drag week is that David Freiberger thought about what would be a cool event and came up with the whole idea of the drag and drive. And he does it. He just shows up and sleeps in a nice hotel and rides around in a nice rental van. He might be, yeah, that might be the best version of drag week. I don't know if he's ever done it. I don't know about the early days. He hasn't done it. I've been doing it. Maybe earlier. I'll have to ask. Declan's got the collectors off. Now we get the transmission out. I don't have to take the rest of the header off, so we've got a jam in there. I do want to see what this collector looks like. So, disconnect the, cut off this little zip out with an hydraulic line, and then just take these 8 bolts out, pull the trans out of the knot. And I'm becoming a headlight guy. I don't, it's not deeply uncool, but man, they work. This headlamp setup, everywhere you look, that's where the light goes. Incredible. Like what? Like some kind of super cool. No, like a coal miner. Oh yeah.
You know you can just go lay down.
Fun fact, my great grandpa was a coal miner, and he was in a collapse in the Western PA coal mine for 4 days. They got out. 3 or 4 days. Yeah, Western.
I'll watch TV, play a video game, whatever you like.
Lost my mind about
Sitting there sleeping like.
Check my license. American Powertrain provides you with this full transmission weather. We'll have to go up top, get rid of this very temporary trans tunnel, and we'll ship her off. Our plan is to remove the mounts here in the shins and our wooden spacer, and lower the transmission so I get the top hole. F1 uses wood in their cars too, so it's like wood
were loose. Like I said, we didn't really have much job. I blame, who's not Bart's not here? I blame Bart. I was like, him. Same, yeah, it's Bart. Oh yeah, he's on vacation. Yeah, it's Bart, for sure. So I'll pull the very top and the very bottom. We'll leave the easy to get to one on and then put the third hand under it. You guys remember when we almost bought a Firebird today? I was stoked on it. 400, guy said it was running, you threw all gas on it, throwing the carburetor. 74 with some good scoops. Do I have a 74 Firebird? Yes, I do. Already have one. And a 79 Camaro. But one of those is like a fun kick around second gen. I love second gen. I think they're as cool as it gets. They used to be like, kind of looked at them as like trashy and not like the right gear because first gens are so cool, but at this point, really second gen bodies are where it's at. Especially pre-76 where the bumpers are so small. And the interior is sick, layout is awesome. They drive better than first gen. They're a good car. Hey y'all, if you want to support the channel and let people out in the world know the market state, we have a cracking merch program. We've got a ton of new stuff. We've got a full line of keep your sodas, other sodas cool with these things. We've got the P15 one. We're going to lose the shop. East Coast Speed. All of our plastic designs are now available. We've also got a line of leather chains. Fire it up. Diamond logo. All sorts of fun stuff. And we've got new t-shirt designs like this coming out every single month. So please grab a piece if you want to support it. come out in 3 pieces per side, basically. So we got some maneuvering to do here. And that thing's dropping them up. Look at that clip. So what I hope to build with this car, kind of like an American Grand Tourer. I've driven some Aston Martins with the V12. They're awesome. I can't afford to buy one, obviously. The order fell in my lap. And I thought, what's a good packed rear-wheel drive chassis? I can throw it in. It has a ton of aftermarket potential. Box body jumps right out. It's a Ford at the time. Ford owned Aston Martin. See, like, that's a Ford oil cap and stuff like that. It all just makes sense to me. But we are way far away from that dream becoming a reality. Just because, you know, we have the drivetrain in. It doesn't say cool. It doesn't charge. The interior is a disaster. The suspension's not on. It leaks. You know, there's quite a bit left to do. But I would like to get there one day. Maybe make the hood go on. That'd be cool. So it's good luck so far. Oh, there's a house. Which makes me think a couple things. Number one, we had one good pull for 60 horse for the tires, which this thing should be for 20 at the main 50 like the later ones do. I don't know what the upgrade is. We immediately lost like 30. Got the clutch out, well, half of it doesn't really even get used. First clutch disc, you can see it's got a solid hub, and it is an organic material, but it's not spun, it's not been heated up. That looks brand new. Right. I'm going to grab the mid plate and the other friction disc. Yeah, there's evidence. Heat in the mid plate here, the floater, what do we call it? Yeah, right here, but would have spun on this disc. I guess these little indentations are in. I mean, this looks terrible. Looking at the flywheel, there's a couple, like I said, a couple small pain hot spots. Maybe it was just not broken right, which I could understand. I'm going to look back at the footage. I think there was a significant amount of force coming out. I looked at the starter gear just to see if maybe like the Bendix or the spring on the starter wasn't disengaging it. It was just running and sparking. Doesn't seem to be the case. So I think it might just be you need a quick resurface of the flywheel.
And let some water go.
Not our main problem. All right, we are back in. It is the next day. We got this motor stripped down. We're about ready to pull it out. Like we said, the clutch didn't look like any kind of a smoking gun, really. Forget it. We're going to pull this motor out and start digging into this thing and see if we can find the problem. Again, low oil pressure. It was making a bunch of noise, and there were sparks blowing out of the oven. So it's not what you want. So we're going to pull it out and see what's good. It is the size of the Titanic, so pulled off the front water outlet here. We've got the headers out of the way, all the wiring's off, and we're going to move forward.
This isn't just a wallet, it's a rare find. There's something different about owning something almost nobody else has. That's why when Ridge dropped their limited Kintsugi collection, I had to grab one. Inspired by the Japanese art of turning imperfections into golden masterpieces, each Ridge Kintsugi wallet has a completely unique golden edged pattern. Literally one of only 8 exclusive designs. That means they'll
I've got the whole wiring harness pull off the motor now. And we're going to ease it out of here. This is the hardest one I've ever pulled on the train. Got it? Ready?
Yep, you're good.
This behemoth is finally freed out. And got that one some sushi. Alright, we've got this big British behemoth up on the stand. And the first thing we're going to do is drain the oil out and check for shiny materials. Normally when you're panning for gold, that's a good thing. Not such a good thing if we see a bunch of copper and shiny specks that are bearing materials. That's bad. And I'm going to be honest, I think the motor sounds worse and lower than most people at the dyno seem to think it is. So it might be very good. I don't want to. It would be a real kick in the pants, but let's get out. Drain her out. And then we'll cut open the filter and really dig in there. Get it in the cleats. Question is, we're going to open nice. Alright. We did clean the top of the oil pan really well, the drain pan, so that if anything does come out, it's fresh. Because when we were in drag week, dude handed me a pan to change my oil that had all sorts of metal dust at the bottom of it, and basically broke my heart. And it's, no, that was in the pan when I gave it to you. I like that now. Going to be at the bottom. bearing material here. Some bigger chunks. Insane, but nothing much to see. Little specks everywhere. Little plates. A couple bigger plates. Great. Maybe the start of the sound we heard. Dig in some more. Let's open the filter. That should be a little bit better. There's metal absolutely everywhere. Ugh. Stuff of nightmares right here. Super rad, exotic car motor. You know, like that is. You're talking about bare material everywhere. Oil pumps definitely shot. I don't know if it got up into the cam towers. I don't think you're going to see much up here. But let's see. You never know. Both got little. These have like kind of almost like a. They have this follower rocker lifter thing. So there's a hydraulic lifter in this little channel, and then that levers up this roller, so that then the other side of it levers into the spring. And crazy. And, you know, this thing did run off the dyno, so I'm guessing if there's just from seeing all the metal in there, the damage is going to be underneath these cam caps. Side looks the same, a little bit of wear and tear, just from probably low blood pressure. That's it. Go around. Hopefully the force part, the rollers, so you can replace those and the lifters easily. A lot of times you get a bunch of junk in your motor. These lifters have little ports in them. Alright, front cover coming off. So every pulley, this whole front end is one big cab piece. So we're going to get that off, so we'll take Alright, so don't know if I get the front cover off. I'm going to just lose the whole panel, drop down and allow the front cover off that's hiding 4 big beautiful camshafts. Like a sprocket. Yeah, so usually this is a dowel. You have to slide out and it just ran up against it. So I'm just going to take them all out of turn. A couple turns and then I'll drop down. If you're ever doing like, you know, an oil pump or something in the car, then you can do it. Usually you do one turn in the back, much more in the front. Probably just time to cover up from the guy with that Firebird. I explained him we couldn't come pick it up. It's like 2 hours away. My truck broke down last night. He said, morning, hey man, I'm actually getting another Camaro. Do you want me to bring the Firebird out to you? And I was like, yeah man, that'd be super cool. And I'm very interested and that's super appreciated. But I'm not going to commit to buying it until I see the car. I didn't love, you know, I'm a little maybe more old school. I know a lot of internet people are buying now. Shows up.
Everyone knows it, but no one wants to admit it. Tearing in your waist while you're in a car, super uncomfortable. Not only does it jab your gut, but it puts 4 inches against your couple inches. So people put their gun in the center console.
Car buying now with people that can buy it. And whatever shows up, shows up. But basically, I said, I'm very interested. I'm not going to commit to buying it, but I plan on buying it. And I don't buy it, I'll give you some money for gas at the time because I think it's fair. And then he came back and said, what more do you need to be able to ready to buy it now to commit? He's like, I'm not bringing it unless you buy it. I said, send me pictures of the quarter panels because they're real, not great pictures. A little fuzzy, and I think there's like a sheet square painted over. And some pictures of the interior because I think it's maybe mostly constructed. And then, so I think that one is probably the table for now. Our Firebird search will begin. Like really any second thing. Firebird, Trans Am. Alright, well, it's mostly like a Ford V8. Your Coyote does not need the world. Make that work. Get that sucker squared up. Pull out this cone ring. That goes to the crank sensor. Tell you. This is the oil pump right in the front of the crank, like, you know, that's why like a Coyote. Just pick it up down there. And then it feeds oil up. I think there's either like here's near the crack, similar to an early Coyote. I don't know what the full problem is, but right now or these little marks somewhere straight out. But I'll start spinning the crank over. That one's gonna pull the plug out and get the idea where it all goes. Minky this thing is, there's no wear really on the guides. The aluminum in here looks like stained. So it is an older motor, probably 20 years at this point, or a little more. But the inside looks like it's better issues. But okay, so now that mark is here. Put this here. Pretty close to working. Alright, so maybe we're totally V12 firing order, and I don't think they really changed it. Because they cool. Alright, I rolled it around again just to walk through intake, fresh, power, and off strokes. It looks like I think this is CDC. I'm pretty confident. Just these are kind of in all these haphazard directions, a little timing marks and dams, but obviously taking a million pictures. Get it right. Obviously, we'll do our best to find out. Sometimes we got it on the internet anyway. I'm going to put it back together, but I don't think it's going to be much harder than my own here like that. So we'll pull off the tensioners, pull the chains off, and then pull one or two caps. I'm going to pull the cams out. Fire these. Look for any kind of oil damage. These are all oil fed to the base of the head. Like this base is perfect. We'll see if there's anything wrong with that, and then we'll get ready to pull his heads off. Not worth the joke. Good news is the joke is so there's front marks all over the place. When you go to the back, these are both lined up directly in line with some kind of casting line. So that's good. Alright, so I've got to take these 45 caps off kind of evenly. Take them off a little bit at a time so they can't move up. You know, level passing section. You don't want to kind of jam it, get it crooked in these little arches. So take your time. The issue is that some of them are under intense valve spring tension, and some of them are not. So you really do just want to give them all half a turn, come back, work your way in or out. And then I'm going to pull the cam fins out. Or one.
Trade school parking. When you walk into Rosedale Tech, you see almost every kind of person there. First-time job seekers, career switchers, moms, veterans, retirees. You might even see someone that's Rosedale Tech.
Got the camshafts out of this thing. Now we can inspect the cam carriers. These little saddles that are cast right in the head or with the camshaft rides on them. You start for oil or what? They'll chew them up very. So a couple striations in the back. That's the worst of it. It's not meaningful. Like a polished stuff. Cams look great. They got a big, tiny mark on them here and there. On where the caps are and what they ride in. Generally good. These are billet, it seems like, which is thick. If you look really closely, you can actually see where they weld two 4V6s together. Just kidding, this is not two V6s welded together like people think. This is the deal. Aston cast this whole thing and designed a V12, but at the time they were, they were owned by Ford and influenced with their, and they had access to their technical catalog. So what they did do is use the valve, and essentially I think the cylinder head shape from the Ford V6. The exhaust ports are the same. They've got their own intakes. This little cam follower, which there's, what did I say, 48 of them, I would assume this is a Ford part. It looks very similar to what you see on like the Pinto over at Cam 2.3. So they're here, like I can show you, that is a little hydraulic lifter. Yep. So each cylinder has 4 of these. 4 little lifters, kind of roller, rocker, really like a cam follower. And then that leverages down the valve. So nothing looks terrible. These will roll nicely. Feel good, Declan? Got rod bearing. A little bit of issue with the head here. Cams look savable. I like the front. Save all these puppies and then we'll get the push rods out of it. The tips of these two. Alright, let's get these heads off and see what we're dealing with. Alright, I'm starting to relieve the tension on these head bolts. Same thing, I'm going to go out the in. This is a 5.9 liter out of 12 cylinders. Not that much, 5.9 liters, 6 of them. All this stuff looks very, very expensive. Everything's up 6 Ford on it. holding the whole head down once you relieve the stress of them. Or in. Together. But the brake and head is cracked. Good. Yeah, grab those two things. Now, somehow I feel like supposed to have something like this. Got some links to British operation. Trying to make it big on this.
Want to keep your hairline where it is? Through Hims.com, you can explore a range of options that work best for you, so you can grow visibly thicker and fuller hair in just 3 to 6 months. Keep it looking strong for years to come with doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride and oxygen, a blend of supplements that support healthy hair. 3 in 4 Hims customers say they wish they started using hair treatment early.
I don't see anything bad in this motor. It has more carbon than you would think. I'm remembering now what this motor was stuck from sitting. That might be what actually led to our bearing. There's more carbon on these exhaust valves than you would think, but nothing crazy. That could be a wonky start. Maybe it'll be bad. Measured, but it didn't get really hot. That gasket looks intact. No indication that it's losing coolant or pressurizing. Darn it. Small as I thought, I bet it's pretty short stroke. There were these 2 bolts in the front I was talking about. Got them both out?
Yep.
Work. Take that off. We're gonna flip this sucker over. See. How bad is something right there? I will check the rearmost one. This is the oil pump. So if it was falling up or not delivering the amount of flow it should have, of course. Biggest pickup I've ever seen in my life. Wasn't because of lack of fire hose. So as we said, this was like an early test motor. Everything looked pretty production ready, but there's some really cobbled together welding on this stay for this pickup. It's also off with the pickup socket. Grab an 8, Declan, and take the front tune off. It's weird, it's not like an overly complicated motor. It's obviously got some good parts. Got this, it has a girdle for the mains, which is always makes itself super rigid. It's obviously got all those valves there and billet cams, but they're controlled in a normal way. There's not even any BVTI or variable cam timing. was stuck when we got it. It didn't want to turn. They kind of corrode together and you beat them free, which is what we did. Sometimes some bearings don't get make it hard for the thing to run. I think we threw a lot of timing at it in the dyno pretty quickly. When the pist's coming up and you've got a bunch of timing in it, and the fire, the explosion's going off and forcing it back down if it's not up there yet. It'll basically, the only thing that can take all that force so the piston keep going up and turn over is the bearing, the elbow down there. So that's you can, what they call beat the bearing. This is the problem with the oil pump. It does have some issues with it. There are some fixes out there, so crank or whatever, leave the head basically alone. The oil pump, get it back in. I think we can save this motor, I think, but it's definitely taken a beating, and it's certainly not going back in the car the way it is. Straight going on. Pull this cap off, and we'll see what it looks like. Roll top end, it does still spin pretty well.
There's no place like Oz, and there's no show like Wicked.
There it goes, cap's coming off. Bearing out. Alright, yeah, it's definitely taking some damage here. I think we definitely chewed up that oil pump. This is not a copper style. It's worn through the outer coating, which is what you don't want. Definitely needs this now. So it doesn't look terrible. I can't feel any scratches in my finger. Good stuff. Also pull the main cap. We've dug through this whole motor. I think it's definitely hurt. Do that coming in. I think it's salvageable. I don't know what it costs to rebuild versus trying to find one of these things. I don't know if we could find it. I don't know if we could afford it if we did find one. But I know I want to keep going with this project. I love this idea. I think we kind of are asked to like skip a lot of important stuff. Like we get the fans going right, we get the charge, we can have braking miles on it. I want to come back to this project and do it right. The first thing we'll do is talk to an engine builder and see what we've got, get this fixed up, re-ring, new bearings, oil pump with whatever, the next generation modifications are there to fix any issues with it. And then get some dowel pins for the trans and get everything, fix the pinion seal and come back to this thing and make it the same level of build as like our 55 Firebird. Make it a real decent car. And then we might have something. I'm pumped. We didn't find all this car yet, but it's not the end of the world. That's going to be it for this video. I'm still excited about this project. It's a total disaster right now, but we're going with this. We can't let it go. Thanks for watching. That's it for this week. Stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next week. And it will be Drag Week, Part 1. And it's
Today, I'm renting a truck from U-Haul and transforming it into a badass custom ride. And then I'm going to take it back to U-Haul and see what these guys think of the new look.
I'm just here to drop off my U-Haul.
Also, guys, I just launched my first ever vehicle giveaway on the channel. So stay tuned for those details coming up later in the video.
We are pulling up to the U-Haul.
Alright guys, this is our 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500. And now, it may not look like much yet, but by the time this video is done, she's going to be looking a whole lot better.
It ain't bad for a stock rental. I think we gotta straight pipe this thing though. I wonder if this thing can do a burnout.
So the first thing we're doing to this truck here today is getting rid of this hideous stock wheel and tire setup. Definitely does not cut it on the truck. And in my opinion, unless you're like 87 years old, there's no reason to be running around with a stock setup like that. So what we got for this U-Haul today is a set of 24x14 Phoenix Force wheels and some 4-inch spacers. Let's get to it. single item. It'll get you up to 60 times entries in September 3rd. Every single order we get direct crazier videos like this. Link to get entered is in the description down below. Now let's go see what the people think of my new customer. Oh my god, look at that last pothole just did to the... Holy shit, man. Yeah, when you can't afford a truck, you just buy some wheels and throw it on there, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, I rented it this morning. Yeah. What do you think, man? You got it there? Yeah, I got it from the rental place. I'm trying to get a lift kit on it, man. You know any shops around here? Let's go, bro. I thought it looked better with the wheels. I don't know, man. We're going to find out. The people are already so confused. It's not a sight you ever see with a freaking U-Haul. We have our first problem. We got a warning popping up on the dash right now. It says, service tire monitor system. What could be happening? We're about to pull up to U-Haul right now with the truck pimped out. Let's see what these guys have to say about this. Today's video sponsor is 3W Lighting. You've got old, worn out floor mats that look like actual dog shit every time you open the door of your truck, and you'll be doing yourself and your passengers a favor by upgrading to the 3W floor mats are made with exclusive Thorax material, which not only makes them extremely durable, but more than capable of handling multiple years of constant abuse on and off road. Even when the Golden drives these mats, they do not perform and they truck perfect. 3W offers high quality mats for a wide range of SUVs, trucks, and other vehicles. Each mat is meticulously designed to complement your vehicle's interior. Perfect fit with the exact make and model of your vehicle. All orders placed in September with the link down below will get up to 35% off through their website and up to $50 off if you order through Amazon. So do yourself a favor and throw those dog shit mats in the garage today. Alright guys, take this truck back. Let's get I did the picture he made from ChatGPT. So right now I'm gonna go up to shops, I'm gonna tell them I'm trying to lift the truck, I'm gonna show them this picture. We're gonna see who does it for us. Stop for a minute, let's just roll by. Garage on our first destination. Look, what's that? No, I just rented it. No, I put them on. I thought it looked way better. Yeah, I want to see what they say when I bring it back. Oh my god. Why is it up? You're going to turn it in. How are you going to get your money back? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I haven't thought that far yet. I can make like this. The lift. No? 5,000? Hey, Alexei. This. When I turn, it hits. So I need to lift the truck so I can clear the tire. Like that? No lift kit here? Okay, no worries. Thank you, man. These guys think I'm crazy, bro. Like this. You know? Not here. Lift kit. Not here? No? Nobody I can ask inside? No worry, bro. We're gonna try one more shop right here. See if these guys will do it for us.
This is my hand. I can take my hand and I can stick it in here and I can play with these fish. And then I can take this hand and I can stick it in here and play with these fish. However, if I want to take this hand and stick it back in there now, it would be very, very unwise.
Wait, bro. We're gonna try one more shop right here. See if these guys will do it for us. What's up, bro? Hey, dog. What's wrong, man? Hey, it's a truck. Yeah, well, U-Haul truck. Those are my wheels, though. Which one? Yeah. Yo, I was wondering if you guys could do a lift kit, bro. I'm trying to make it like that. Lift it up? Yeah. Trying to do like a 10-inch lift on that thing. No lifts here? Well, unfortunately, we had no takers on our lift kit project here for today. I even offered that one guy $5 grand, and he still didn't want to do it. But this only means one thing, guys. It's time to bring this thing back to you. All right. We're about to pull up to U-Haul right now with the truck pimped out. Oh boy. Let's see what these guys have to say about this. What's up, bro? I'm just here to drop off my U-Haul. No, we did a little upgrade while I had it, you know. Will you guys take it like this? I think it looks better. Like, you see that one over there? That's what it used to look like, but I think it looks better like this, honestly, bro. I have the stock wheels still if you need me to change it, but I think it looks way better, no? Yeah. We did a little upgrade. I was trying to do a lift kit on it before I brought it back, but nobody would do the lift kit for some reason.
I think they might just charge you for every tire.
You think they would charge me? Dude, these are like $7,000 of rims here. They should be paying me to return it like this. See that? That freaking Chevy over there? Compared to this one? It ain't got shit on this one.
This is the Ferrari 458 I bought wrecked and attempted to rebuild it in 7 days. No! Oh yeah, but we can only get so far. None of this lines up. We got a lot of the structural repairs done and even fitted a new rear quarter. Yeah! But there's only so many parts we could get in those 7 days. And we found that some of those parts didn't even fit. But today, we're gonna finish it for good and get it back on the road. Come on. At least, that's what we thought.
Whoa, 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 whoa. The whole car just said enough and just shut itself down.
Let's start by getting this front end on. Last time we worked on the car, we figured out that all of these panels that we put on, we had to do guesswork on how these actual frames lined up because we don't have another 458 to measure off. Ferrari ain't gonna send us the measurements of it because they don't want people like us repairing them. So what we've got to do now, because we've got the wings, the bonnet and the bumper, is we put them on, align that to the rest of the car where we think it should go, and then we can re-weld on all of these panels and make sure that they're all in the right spot. Let's get moving. So now,
if you live in an Indiana zip code and have 0 DUIs in the last 5 years, listen carefully. I was an insurance agent for 30 years, and what I'm about to tell you could save you up to 80% on your auto insurance.
They're all in the right spot. Let's get moving. So now, the front end panels have all been primed, but before we commit to painting all of them, we need to make sure that they actually fit. And to eliminate that anything's bent that's on the car, the first thing I'm going to remove are the bonnet hinges and replace them with new ones. Because there was damage to the old bonnet. Out with the old, and in with the new ones. They are slightly different. Why do you reckon the studs are so long?
Universal, you just cut it down to the size you need.
At this point, nothing is surprising with this Ferrari. The studs on the bonnet hinge are way too long, so I'm handing them over to Liam so we can make them look more like the originals. I'm a very trustworthy person. And whilst he's doing that, I can start lining up the front wings with the doors, so I can still access the bonnet hinges even even though this front wing is aftermarket, it does line up with the door pretty well, so I'm happy with that. And whilst I'm doing that, we've got Bob from the machine shop continuing his work with the rear quarter, this time starting to get the dents out of it, because we got it a little bit cheaper because it was damaged. This wing's on. We're not going to reference this door because if you remember in the last video as well, the door was all over the shop, but we've got new hinges for the door as well. We've got to put them in. But for now, this doesn't look too bad, but if we're moving that side out, we're probably going to have to move this side in. Perfect way to see though is to fit the bonnet or the hood if you're American, but Liam has not finished painting his hinges yet.
Promise drawing. Eventually,
Liam got some paint on the hinges, and there was also a bracket of the headlight to fix. Again, we got this headlight cheaper because the bracket was broken, but it actually comes with it. So my dad popped a bit of glue on it and stuck it back into place. And by that time, the hinges were dry.
Very hard body shop look.
Wow.
Liam's body shop. Are you proud?
Thank you, Liam. I mentioned every time we do a front end damage car that it's always a good idea to change the bonnet hinges, because you'll be forever trying to line the bonnet up if the hinges are slightly bent. And whilst I put them in, Bob's prepped the rear quarter ready to put some spot welds into it. And of course, this rear quarter is aluminium, so it requires TIG welding. And this type of welding I've never done before. But Bob, on the other hand, is really experienced with it. And if you want to learn how to do it, you can do at the machine shop, which Bob runs. The link's in the description for that. Right, we're going to put on the bonnet now, because the bonnet is pretty, there's not loads of adjustment in it. We're going to put that on, and then we should be able to move the wings to the bonnet. But let's just see where it sits with the new hinges on. It might be okay. At the minute, to put the bonnet in, we're using some random nut and bolts just to hold it in place. Because if it does line up, we can send it to the body shop for paint afterwards. Let's see if these new hinges has made a difference with this aftermarket bonnet. It still seems a little off. Not that bad, because it's just high here. Which would say to me it needs to be lifted up, it needs to go like that. So the bonnet is still slightly out, but now we've got a stock 458 front bumper. We're going to slide that into place and see if it lines up with the wings. And then close the bonnet down to see how it fits there. Yeah. It's not too far off. Bumper wings, it's just the bumper side. We're going to be spending the next couple of hours on trying to line this bonnet up with the rest of the panels at the front. But no matter what we did, we couldn't get it lined up. Just to make sure there wasn't anything wrong with that bonnet, we took it off and put the old damaged one back in to see if that lined up. Come to the conclusion. The stock bonnet lines up, like, it's not fully on, but the stock bonnet isn't high in the place that bonnet is high. And look, you only have to look at this. You go down here, look at it from here. Look at it, if you go low, look at the distance between the floor and that there, and then the floor and that there. Like, it's fully twisted. The standard bonnet, we sort of bend it back into place, but obviously this is gone. You can't do it. It's all kinked up and broken. So I'm going to have to order the standard bonnet. Right now, the car's booked in at the body shop, so we can't continue much with the front end. The main concern is getting the quarter done. Liam's taking the PPF off the door on the right hand side because they're going to have to paint all of that side to match it all up. The rear quarter is nearly ready for paint, so Bob's welded on everywhere down here, all down here, but we just need to get this car ready for the body shop, and when we get the car back we should be able to reassemble it all. We just need to make sure that this rear quarter is on, ready to go, get it to the body shop. Conclusion, the aftermarket bonnet doesn't fit as well as the original bonnet, so I'm going to have to order an original one and just hope that my theory is correct. All we're doing now is just prepping the car for the body shop. So we're taking off the storage panel at the back for where the roof goes, just so Bob can access the rear quarter a bit more to put in a few more welds, and once he's done that, the car's ready to go to the body shop. Now we have managed to get the car running and driving, so my dad's going to drive it out, then we've got to pop it in the trailer, and it's going to be at the body shop for about a week.
If you're here in the greater Indianapolis area and you're looking for a solution to heat your home this winter, then this is hands down the system.
Firstly, the guys are going to concentrate on painting the rear quarter and any panel that's actually attached to the car. That way they can get the car back to us as soon as possible. So they're doing the rear quarter first, some primer, a couple of layers of paint, and then the clear coat over the top. Once they're happy with that, the car can go back in the trailer and head back to our unit, where now we can start assembling it whilst the guys at the body shop paint the rest of the panels that we've left there. The last thing to paint, hopefully, which is all of the exposed metal here, and just to have a look, just got the example of how Ferrari painted it, and they forgot to paint the bottom, which is fine, so we can also forget to paint the bottom. And then they got just kind of like a bit of a splatter there. So we're kind of trying to go for the same technique. First we're going to use a little bit of extra primer, then we're going to go straight in with the red. Let's go. Again, like the body shop, I'm applying the primer first onto the bare metal. But unlike the body shop, I'm using an aerosol can. But all of this framework, I think, was only painted just so it stops it corroding rather than looking good. So I don't think I could do any worse than a job than Ferrari, I hope. Once the primer's on, I'm going to go over it with the aerosol, which is colour matched to the body colour paint. A few layers of that, and it's complete.
Do you know what? That paint actually looks quite good.
Not bad, is it?
No, it's alright.
Maybe I painted a bit more than Ferrari did on that side.
Yeah.
Ferrari must have run out of paint there, because I still had some left. Looks actually alright, and we've done a Ferrari job, like handmade, and bit of rattle canning. The doors have been painted and repaired where the mirror was as well. The rear quarter has been painted and nicely blended in as well. All our repair is basically non-existent right now as well. We do have to paint inside the rear quarter to finish that off. All the repair all around here, non-existent. Panels are lining up good. It looks like a Ferrari GT at the minute. We do need to put the hood thing back on as well. This side as well, because the wing has been painted, the guys have painted into this door as well, so this whole side's sort of been blended in. But the panels are still yet to come back, the wings, bonnet and bumper. But in the meantime, because we've now painted this front frame, we can start fitting in the radiators and bleed the system, which could be quite difficult because the radiators are at the front and where you fill the coolant is at the back, so it's prone to airlocks. So let's get the radiator in and we're going to find out whether our fix on the radiator is actually going to work. So when we first took off the existing radiator off the car, we noticed a little hole in the plastic, which is actually going to cause the radiator to leak. But a new radiator was at least a 2-week wait from Ferrari. Second-hand one anywhere. So instead, my dad tried to fix it by melting plastic zip ties into the hole in the radiator. And it seems to be watertight, but I guess now we'll find out whether it actually works when it runs to temperature once we fit both the front radiators to the car, which is what me and Liam are doing now. Which is quite tricky. There's a big plastic shroud after the radiator and one just before. Right, radiators are sort of rested in at the minute, hoses aren't on, but between the radiators where they're mounted, they have like a little rubber piece like that, and then another rubber piece like that, and then to take out a bit of vibration. But this bit here is a bracket of hot paint. So now we know where the radiator goes and mounts up there. We can sort of just scratch a little hole with this bolt, and where that scratch is under there, we're going to drill a hole and put a rib nut in there, so this bolt is screwed directly into it. To get a bit more space, I pulled a bolt out which holds the radiator up, then I've got enough room to drill the hole. Oh no, I scratched my paint. I need to make sure the hole is big enough for my rib nut, and then I can slide my rib nut with the rib nut tool into the hole that I've just drilled and squash it into place. Once it's in, I can then screw the bolt into my fitting. And Liam's got to do exactly the same on the other side. Once we're happy with that, we can secure up both radiators, and in front of the left side radiator is an air con condenser which we've got to slide in as well and connect the pipes which go to it. They bolt in place, push those to a ring and Liam tighten them up. I can go back over to my side and connect the top and bottom radiator hose ready for the coolant to go in. Right, because the radiators are at the front of the car,
so these are right there, the whole growing pattern, no color on there. Something consumers do buy with their eyes.
It's at the front of the car. There's a long way for the car to travel, which means that there's a long way for air to be stuck in as well. And if we have an airlock, then the water cannot push the air, it's fighting against each other, the water isn't going to circulate, the coolant isn't going to cool down. So, we're going to suck all the air out of the system using this. If you've not seen this device before, then I can only guess that you're not subscribed to the channel. And now's a great time to hit the subscribe button, because this thing is a vacuum filler. It goes into the expansion tank, all the air out of the system. That's going to blow air faster there, creating suction out of there, getting rid of all the air. This is now going to create negative pressure inside the cooling system, and we'll be able to tell here if we've got any leaks. You see the hoses are completely collapsed at the front end, and it's holding vacuums, but the hose repair holds up to pressure. Then it's going to got to hold up with heat. So it's holding a good vacuum. I've got to start filling coolant into it. It's a cooling system, so we don't want any air in there. And once I've opened the tap, it's now going to suck all the coolant into the cooling system. We're going to do that until there's no vacuum left in it. Then we can pull the filler off the expansion tank and top up the remaining part with a little watering can. Let's start it, try and run the car's temperature, and we'll see and hope, one, we have no leaks, which we shouldn't have, because we held vacuum, and two, whether our radiator fix holds out. Come on. We can't see the coolant temperature. But for the roof to complete the cycle, we've got to put the roof on. So let's put the back half of the roof on, then it will know that it's on, and we should be able to see the cooling temperature. Let's do that. This is the first time we've ever worked on a 458, so we're learning all the little quirks as we go along. Me and my dad are now putting the back part of the roof on, and we're hoping, once this is all on, we can complete the roof cycle, which means either opening it or closing it, and then a short call through the dash to see there. Coolant temp, oil temp. Yes, let's test it. We'll get some fans coming on.
Rev it.
Everyone said that wouldn't work. You were right then. Yeah, it's all dripping down at the bottom. Oh yeah, look at all that. It seems like the heat completely melted the zip ties we put in. The situation is, we can't get a radiator, and it's a 2-week wait from Ferrari. So we're going to have to, like, the repair worked to an extent, but I think we just need to go at it a tiny bit more, trying to get some more penetration on the plastic weld. And I think it will hold out, because it's just sweating, and there it is, look. Just there, oh look at that. Yeah. Slip that off. Oh, what's that? Look at that. We have to let the pressure die down. Once it's cooled down, and it wouldn't be as if we didn't get coolant on the floor when putting coolant in the car. There it is. Come on, I'm sure we can get this fixed. Right, let's see if we can fix this radiator. Not meant for this purpose. My dad's back at it with the zip ties.
When heading out at night, you must carry this small yet powerful item with you. This is a key-shaped flashlight that emits an ultra-bright beam of up to 6,000 lumens with just a flick, easily illuminating an entire building. At the same time, it doubles as a high-capacity power bank, compact and portable. Most power banks on the market today charge slowly, are bulky, and cumbersome to carry. However, this key-shaped power bank uses the latest fast-charging technology, fully charging a dead smartphone in just 10 minutes.
Oh shit.
Try and fill the hole, get some more penetration on the plastic helps. Right, choice 2, because we didn't have JB welds. Epoxy putter for the toughest jobs on planet Earth, waterproof, plumbing applications, automotive applications, gap filling, household repairs, and withstands extreme temperatures. Or option 2 is epoxy crystal clear Also, for the toughest jobs on planet Earth, withstands extreme temperatures, but only up to 82 degrees.
It's got to be that one.
It's got to be that one. So we're going to attack it with the putter. I wanted to be sure it was nice and dry before I applied it, so I emptied out all the coolant that was in the radiator. Then this putty, you open up and mix together, which activates it. Then I just plaster it all over the radiator where the hole is. And you're supposed to leave it to set for 24 hours. Right, we'll see later on in the video if that's worked. For now, the wings should arrive so we can start putting the wings on. That stinks. Here are the front wings, or fender if you're American. Before we fit them, we've got to drill out a few more holes where the emblem sits into. If the holes in these ones weren't big enough to fit it in, then we can slide it into place. So the badge, or the emblem, is nut and bolted, but I'm surprised that Ferrari didn't weld this on as well. And the only reason they didn't weld it is maybe they couldn't get to it at the back. Or for the other stuff, they're nut and bolted and welded. They like to make sure. I think there's a nut and bolt guy and a welder guy, and they don't talk to each other. It's really interesting finding out how this Ferrari is built, and you can 100% tell it's hand built, which is pretty cool. That's memories. Now that the emblem's on the wings, I can slide the wings onto the car and line them up with the doors. The body shop have moved the hinges on the passenger side door to make sure it lines up with the quarter. So all I've got to do is make sure the gap between the door and the wing is right, and it looks good on both sides now. Time for the new bonnet. This is a standard bonnet, and it cost me £3,000 brand new. There's nothing I could do about it. The aftermarket bonnet just wasn't fitting right. I just hope now the stock one does fit, because we've committed to it now. The emblem's on the front, then I'm going to slide this washer pipe through the inside of the bonnet and then clip on the washer jets and then slide them into the bonnet. Insert, wash, go away, go away, yes, yay! Yeah, but this all could change when we put the bumper on. I think, well, how long's it been since we put this on?
About 6 hours.
6 hours, close enough to 24 hours. Should we give it a try, see if it beats. Just run it up. Here goes nothing. Let's run the coolant up to temperature and all eyes on our repair. This has to work. Come on. We're at 9, Seth. How are we looking? So far, everything's looking good. Until... oh no!
Oh yeah, look.
It was so close.
It's coming out.
Just a little bit in it. We're down to last resorts. We're using the rest of the epoxy. We're going on. We've got no other option. 2-week wait for a radiator, or £5 fix with epoxy Gorilla Glue. I choose epoxy Gorilla Glue every single day. We got close. We don't give up. We're not quitters. Let's just cake it in it. Come on. I think I read somewhere one time that the definition of insane is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result each time. Well, looks like we're insane. We've committed to putting more epoxy on that radiator and hoping for the best. This car has to be ready in a couple of days, and you'll see why towards the end of the video. But now, the exciting parts are happening. The front bumper is coming to meet the wings for the first time since they've been painted. And so far, so good. Looking really good there. But that'll change when we close the bonnet. You can see it was just sitting a little too high. So we had to do what Ferrari had to do. Use spacers. These are going to sit underneath the bumper, which will raise it up, and then we can put the bolts back through it. If we did this on any other car, it would seem a bit of a bodge. But the fact that there were spacers on this car from factory doesn't make me feel bad about it. And that, ooh, has almost done it.
Definitely made a difference.
It has made a difference.
Are you researching dental implants?
There's a lot of dental offices that'll talk about doing their teeth in the day.
Almost done it. Okay.
Definitely made a difference.
It has made a difference. I reckon if we compromise a bit now and come a little bit down on the latch, we might be alright. I think the bonnet is still sitting a little high, so I've gone underneath it to pull down the latch to make the bonnet now sit flush with the front bumper. Feels good. Oh, what a car. It's really coming together. And now that we're happy with the alignment at the front, me and Liam are going to start assembling the tub and all the panels on the front end, including the window wipers and the tub seal. And the good news is that the washers work. Final few bits on the front end now, and that will be the under trays. Luckily, these survived the accident, so we can reuse them. They slide underneath the bumper each side, and then there's loads of bolts which hold it into place. That's job done underneath there. Back down again for the arch lining. I had to replace the part on the left hand side, but all the ones on the right hand side were all good to go again. And with them installed, the front end is pretty much complete. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Headlights, bonnet, bumper, wings on, lined up. We have got our fingers crossed in hope that that radiator holds out. We're going to give it 24 hours before we actually try it again. That is looking fresh, I think. Looking really clean. Yeah, I really like it. I really like it. The body shop said it does need a mop up and a polish because it's just come fresh out of paint. We're not too worried about that at the minute. For now,
We both tried to kill Batman.
Yeah, we're both right. I as the Penguin in Batman Returns.
And I was Mr. Freeze in Batman and Robin.
How did Batman beat you?
Oh, he used my one weakness against me.
Heat.
Love.
Oh. He threw me out a window.
Yeah, really. Batman, that son of a bitch. Where is he? Yeah.
He's here.
I hate him.
There he is. He's right here. He's right in the...
You have a lot of nerve to show your face in that video. Son of a bitch.
You are a real beak breaker. I'm gonna see you after the governor's ball.
Better believe it.
Pal.
We both tried to kill Batman.
Yeah.
She makes $200,000 per game, but she can't afford a $5 burger. She's Angel Reese. Do you know why? The truth will absolutely move you. 1. She sends half her money back home. Every month, Angel grew up in a single-parent household in Maryland. Now that she's...
I don't care.
we're going to carry on doing the rear end of the car, which has bumper on first, but before the bumper, we do have an exhaust. Let me show you it. Here is a full Valvetronic system, equal length headers, front pipe, and then the back box. Now, where this car's going tomorrow requires that we need to stay under a certain sound decibel. This car will sound amazing with this on, but for tomorrow we can't be too loud. So I think it's going to be a better idea if we just put on the rear section now, which will just give it that little bit of tone, and then the rest possibly we put on later if everyone subscribes to the channel. First off, back box. Okay, so first things first, let's get the original back box off the exhaust system. there's 2 clamps each side. One of them snapped, but the other one come off quite easily. After that, there's loads of exhaust hangers which hold the exhaust to the chassis of the car. We've got to undo every single one which connects the back box to the car. After that, we're going to need to undo this bracket here just to give us enough room to wiggle the exhaust out. Final few hangers now which I'm undoing. Then there's these hoses which connect to the valve. They've got to be unplugged. And then I'm actually going to disconnect the pipe which connects the 2 back boxes together. Okay. Which took a bit of persuading. Once that's out, it'll be a lot easier to remove the back boxes, one on each side. Oh, yeah! And you can see the difference in size between the stock one and the Valvetronic one. Old back box off, so now we've got standard exhaust headers, catalytic converters, straight out. The old back box is massive compared to that. Then you have the standard valve. So the valve will open or close, and I guess there's some kind of redirection inside the back box. So the exhaust gases always take the fastest route. Engine gets vacuumed, it will probably open the valve to get louder. On the Valvetronic system, I can plug it into an electronic one so I can do a bit of button, but I think I'm just going to stick with the stock one. It's still got the vacuum thing that I can plug the vacuum line onto, and it's still works standard. So once you start revving it goes up a vacuum, that will open, and then the exhaust gases go down here into the silencer and out through the back. But when this is open, like that, this will go down here and straight out the back. So that's going to sound pretty cool. But we need to do the obligatory start up without the back box to see what it sounds like. But I don't think it's going to be any louder than that. If anything, it's going to be quieter, which could be okay for us. This is very unlikely. Normally, we go for a crazy loud exhaust. The issue is, if I did put the headers on and those front pipes, we would have a crazy loud exhaust. But we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing tomorrow with the car. So for now, on goes the Valvetronic back box. It'll be interesting to see what difference this makes in sound. This fits in the exact same way as the OEM one does. So, 2 vacuum lines. Here, these are solenoids, there and there. And the bottom 2 hoses coming out of there, they go down here, down here, down here, to this tank, which holds vacuum from the engine. So all the time, this is pulling vacuum when the car's running, so it's sucking. But these solenoids won't let the vacuum pass until they open up, and then that is then what sucks the valves to an open position. We can do that with our new vacuum lines because these hoses here won't read actuator. So we've got to replace these standard vacuum lines which lead from the solenoids to the valves. Oh, but once we remove them, big, small, we realise one side was small and the other side was big. So we was going to have to make a modification for them to work. Once they were both removed, but Dad found some fuel pipe which fitted onto the solenoids, and then the pipe we got with the Valvetronic exhaust was going to pop a little bit of glue onto it and slide it into the fuel pipe. Again, this is just negative pressure which is running through these, so it shouldn't burst off the vacuum line. I've now got to cut the line down to side on one side, and then slide in another vacuum line into the other side and cut that down to size. Then I can route the hose onto the valve of the exhaust on one side and on the valve of the exhaust on the other side. Now that they're on, we can tighten all the hangers down and tighten up all the exhaust clamps, connecting it to the rest of the standard exhaust. Valvetronic back box fitted. Exhaust tight. Let's give it a demo. And the good thing, I've actually got sensible like a Ferrari owner right now, because it's just going to give it a bit of noise. It's actually completely legal system with the original valves. Let's see what it sounds like. God, classy girl. Begged to get action! So with the exhaust on, we can now start fitting the rest of the body panels. First off is this panel which sits just behind the engine, which has a brake light in it. Pop all the bolts in for that. This is how it come out. 4 washers underneath. And Ferrari use 4 washers to space out the bottom of the panel to make sure it aligns with the bumper. So I'm just going to put in the same 4 washers that come out on either side. Now we find out whether it's like that or like that. We did put the same amount of spaces in as usual, but we have put this bar in. That's what that sits on. So, and this bar, there's no real proper place to put it. So if it is a bit, if the gap is a bit bigger at the top of the bumper, then we've got to take out a spacer to lower it down. Same on that side. So that's what the space is big. We'll sit flat, nice there. Here is, which I managed. We transferred over everything off our bumper, which was good, like the camera and the parking sensors. That does look quite good though. And then we can fit it to the car. And so far, it's lining up pretty well. All we've got to do now is bolt it to the car, clip in the electrical connectors to the parking sensors and the rear camera, and then we can fit the rear lights. The rear lights slide in on each side, and then the back, which you can get. Not forgetting to plug them in afterwards. It's really starting to look good now. Yeah. Once the rear bumper's on, I can now do the final fittings in the engine bay, which is all the engine covers on the left side and the right hand side, which really smartens up that engine bay. And finally, the car can go back in the air, because of course we need to fit the rear diffuser. Yeah. Luckily, this was undamaged in the accident, so we can slide it into place and put in the original screws. And it's almost like it never happened. One diffuser and bumper fitted to the car. Finally, the arch lining. All of the arch lining on the rear we were able to use again. None of it was damaged. Okay, can't put this front arch lining in because there's a little bolt here which I need to access. Put the side skirt, the ramp is really close. So what we're going to have to do is pop it on its wheels, lower it down, and then we can move it back. But whilst it's back, we should be able to put the door up in the interior whilst I put the arch lining in and the side skirt. Sounds like a plan. Is the plan. Let's get the wheels on, roll it back. So let's pop on the wheels that we bought in the last video, and then we'll be able to roll the car forward to work on the interior. And once I see this car on the floor, it was getting me excited to see the final product. But we're not quite there yet.
Freshly repaired door car. Is that not amazing?
Now if you remember, when we picked the car up, only 2 bags were deployed, and they were in the door cards, both left and right. With the door cards, then all we had to do is buy 2 new airbags for the driver's side and the passenger side. Once we've got the airbags, we can then refit them into the door cards each side, and just about ready to be refitted onto the door. whilst my dad's doing that, I bought a wing mirror glass. And I had to buy this one new. The two electrical connectors which clip onto the back of the mirror and for the heat. And then it just pushes into place. Once I've done that, I can jack up the left-hand side of the car, remove both wheels, and it's time to fit the side skirt.
Burger at the menu, see what you could have got to be double bite. If I didn't order that one, I've got to get one of those butterfly shakes. Apparently those have somewhere between 1,500 and 3,000 calories in them. I feel like I should have ordered that IV of wine. I mean, I hate wine, but it looked good on thumbnail, right? It's hard to like this one, you know, because there's a lot of different light sauces. I won't bore you with the details. I'm not entirely sure what I want to order, actually, but
Right, well, we can find out together.
I think I have to order
Yes,
a hot tub bypass buggy.
with the bacon, right?
So it's like how it normally comes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and bacon to it. Then it's almost 20,000.
oh, so with the bacon it's 20,000?
Yeah.
I've got to get the bacon then, yeah?
Smart. How about our chili? All beef, no beans, no vegetables, and it's not spicy.
Yeah, I'll have a look at chili. I mean, it all has the calorie count, right?
True.
Yeah. It's a fat milkshake.
Yes, we have chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, and coffee.
What's the best one?
Vanilla or coffee.
Vanilla or coffee? I
Those
just
are my
like
two
coffee.
favorites.
I'll get a coffee.
It's really good. We have a small syringe that I administer orally. It's a strawberry vodka jello shot. And then we have the giant syringe, which would be medication.
Orally?
Absolutely. Give you your medication.
I can probably do one of those.
Okay. All right. I will be right back with your medication.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Is that one of your freebies? You got a free burger? Yeah? Nice.
Just to remind you that it's made with butter. It's a little thick and creamy.
In case you forgot. Oh, and this is the...
Your medication.
Oh, right, okay.
Don't try to chew it. Relax the throat and swallow, and yes, I do it all at once.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
I don't know, I'm ready.
Here we go. Close your mouth around. It makes it easier. Nice. Just like that. You took your medication.
Oh, that did feel a bit like a medical
Right.
procedure.
That way when you get your spanking, you don't feel it as much.
This is the IV of wine, which
An entire liter.
a litre, that's for one
It's
person,
an
right?
entire one. Absolutely. Enjoy your medication.
Alright, thank you. I don't know if they would drink a litre of wine, would they? For themselves? My sister would actually, that's a lie. Is the butter on top necessary? What are you supposed to do? Eat that? Oh, that is greasy. Alright. Is it gonna stand up?
No, I have to
Maybe
hold
not.
it for you until you're ready.
Alright, what do you reckon? Think I can finish it?
No.
No?
I'm gonna be honest. No. I'm looking forward to spiking. 40 slices of bacon.
Right.
An entire tomato.
All right.
8 servings of cheese.
Okay.
8 servings of chili and 16 slices of cheese.
So it's a lot. It's 20,000 calories.
19,964. Almost.
We could round it up, right? Oh, man, it's good. Well, you cook these things hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Keep the flavor in there.
I'm at the world famous Heart Attack Grill today in downtown Las Vegas, and I'm taking on the octuple bypass burger. You don't get anything if you finish it, but
You get high five.
You get a high five.
Yeah. And 20,000 calories in your belly.
I suppose it's that, yeah. I'll give you a shout if I need any more vodka jelly smashing down my throat. Thank you. I'll put up the timer on the screen just for fun. Bit of food. It's the legendary octuple bypass burger. Who's gonna...
Welcome back. We finally made it to the Heart Attack Grill, the globally infamous nucleus of dietary excess. I don't think I've ever been asked to visit any restaurant more than I've been asked to visit this one. It almost feels like some kind of religious pilgrimage after all these years doing what I do. And of course, I had to get the octuple bypass burger with extra chili, no less.
I'm trying to hold the group with my forearm. The burgers are rich.
You can see that again. I don't know that I've even got the vocabulary to describe how these pies taste, other than to just say, I don't know, outrageous, depraved even. They are so full of fat. It does feel like a bit of a crime to eat, to be honest.
We'll see. rich. It's rich, you know.
That was the goofiest laugh ever. We're playing the song. Probably starting to hit me about now. I think the nurse might be starting to change her prognosis though. Still, long way to go, like.
What are we about, halfway?
Something like that, I think.
Yeah, we're down 4 to go.
I don't know what it is about this, but it kind of feels like I shouldn't have lost it.
I suspect it may be the fact that everything is deep fried in lard. Just a hunch. It does, after a patty or two, it feels absolutely gross to eat, but admittedly delicious at the same time.
Oh, that's right. Oh! That was so hard. Is that normal? That was really hard.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I gotta finish this now. I can't get hit like that. Do you have that Mexican Coke here?
We used to. After COVID, we weren't able to get it anymore, so we just have regular Coke.
Can I have a regular Coke? I would love it, thank you. I heard they had Mexican Coke, but sadly no. Oh, thank you. That is a huge can. I've never seen a Coke can that big, ever. I suppose, yeah, good point. Right, we need to get this done while it's still reasonably warm, because this is not going to be fun when it's cold.
Yeah, that's true. When this is hot, it's actually very easy to eat on account of all the fat. But it's starting to cool now, so just stop lingering if I want to get it done.
I really am very happy I did not sit on your time.
I think I might save the bottom bun till left because that's probably got like 5,000 calories in it alone. It's absolutely saturated with grease.
Yeah, we'll save that bottom bun for a spacious little treat at the end. I've got some, this food actually tastes a lot better than I expected. You wouldn't want to eat here more than, I don't know, maybe once ever. But it is a lot. It's a shame you don't get anything for finishing this thing, especially since apparently only like a handful of people have ever finished the full one with the bacon and everything. They used to push you out in a wheelchair. I do like a siren thingy, I think, but apparently the last time they did that, the wheelchair got nicked. So no more. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the series, and stick around for the consequences of me not finishing the wine. Catch you next time.
Almost.
I was wrong. I was very...
It was noise. It's really noisy.
In this video, guys, I'm going to show you some things that I know you've never seen before. I can guarantee you it's going to be educational, it's going to be entertaining, and it might even blow your mind. This vehicle is riddled with some nasty rust. It's gone right the way through the bodywork and created some really bad damage. It's Friday as I'm recording this, and on Monday I've got a guy coming all the way from Scotland to fetch it, and I've told him it's pretty mint. Just to make the situation 10 times harder, I've set a criteria for you guys. It's got to be as DIY as possible, no welding involved, no special spraying equipment, and it's got to be affordable and on a budget. I'm going to literally be a DIYer. I'm going to have to struggle with the tools I've got.
I'm so happy that you're not keeping YouTube and everybody's starting to think they are.
When I dropped my video about the Hodge twins on August 3rd, 2025, I didn't know it would get so many views. I didn't know that so many people dislike these guys so much. I just noticed a few discrepancies with some of their arguments, and that was it. I didn't think anything of it, and I didn't think to ever revisit the subject. However, Albert and Preach on September 22nd, 2025 reacted to my video and making their own video called Myron and Hodge Twins reminded they are in white. So I decided to do a little bit of investigating. I said, there has to be something to this. So I started looking on social media for people that had an issue with the Hodge twins. And boy, was I surprised.
But then all of a sudden, they became as parents, where they like to put the black community down. And I feel like that's just some bull. Your asses have black and you walk around looking like a white skin.
Woo! Now this was a more of a recent video because the lady basically referenced the fact that other YouTubers are making content about the Hodge twins. But before my video or Abba and previous video, you had people who really understood what was going on.
They were really leaning on their blackness. They had black and white. They were leaning on their blackness, you know, all this, that, all this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's cool because, you know, black folk, we accept, you know, who are partially black. We accept art, whatever the fuck else, until you give folks a reason to not.
Now, this is a very, very keen observation. He said when he was watching the Hodge twins when they were growing up, he realized that the Hodge twins were leaning on to their black side. You know, they already have black and white. And so what he saw is the Hodge twins making comedy using the going back and forth. But then he noticed a change.
What I've noticed that they do is that they put down what they used to like lean on to now give up.
If you live in an Indiana zip code and have 0 DUIs in the last 5
give an uprise to like their political beliefs. You see what I'm saying?
But the Hodge twins built their career basically leaning onto their black side. Now they criticize everything to do with the black side. They built their brand on that. They built their brand on black buffoonery, quote unquote, let them tell it. Now you criticize what made you successful. But this sister said it the best.
You have two black men, avid pro-Trump supporters. You know who stereotype the black audience, go all the way down their page. They speak about white people with respect. They speak about black people, there's no respect, there's no this, sir, this, ma'am, this. When they speak about a white person who's committed a crime, they're speaking about something that's, you know, going on in, you know, in a white community. But when it comes to black people or brown color, it's criminal, and you know, there's all kind of stereotypical terms that paints people of color in a negative light.
Now, she talked about the Hodge twins timeline. I talked about that in my particular video. And obviously they're active on X, so it's really easy to see it there. But let's see if her point is true. This is not conservatives chase 2 black dudes off campus. Then on the YouTube, Chicago residents pissed after streetwalkers take over Chicago neighborhoods. And of course, this is a black neighborhood. So you can imply that. Here we have, very specifically, black people always need to make everything about race. Then another day, another woman getting punched by a black. These guys want to make it seem like every day women are just getting punched by black dudes. In particular, white women. All right? How many white women every day get punched by black dudes? I'll wait. And the answer is not that many. But hey, we all gotta make money. Of course, these are their biases. And I actually called them out in my video for being pretty much sellouts. And so when they're reacting to my video, I'm talking about the Hodge twins here, here's their reply to me.
Yeah, just because I have different opinions and sold out. Yeah, a sellout is a person who says something for money. Yeah. I'm saying things because genuinely that's my opinion. Yeah, that's how we see the world. Yeah, I monetize my opinion, but it's nothing wrong with that on the capitalist. Yeah.
Now here they're saying that they really feel this way. They're Republicans, and they monetize their opinions because they're capitalists. Now let me just say this: the Hodge twins are definitely capitalists. I have never seen YouTubers grift and just go from one thing to another quicker than the Hodge twins. I mean, wherever the money is going to go is where they're at. I mean, they didn't have too much investment in their main channel. They didn't put any thought into this channel. And that's something about the Hodge twins. These guys are not that bright. I mean, despite how they articulate themselves, I'm not even talking about how they sound, because their articulation leaves a lot to be desired. Let's compare them to somebody like Alba and Preach. Alba and Preach, in particularly Alba, even Preach, they're both very good. They're the best. They give really good depth and analysis to their positions. And their positions are not always popular. You cannot always guess what Preach are going to come up with. They find challenging. That is the beauty of Alba and Preach. Okay? They put thought into what they're saying. They have great dialogue. When you listen to the Hodge twins, there's not much dialogue at all or thought into whatever they're saying. And that's why they don't really get a whole lot of views per video in relation to their audience size. Now, if you look at somebody like Candace Owens gets a lot of views for her size. Well, Candace Owens is, I'm not gonna say she's the brightest person, but she's smarter than them. And that's the difference between the Hodge twins and Candace Owens. Candace Owens can come up with something original that she can claim in her arguments. The Hodge twins just regurgitate whatever our conservatives want to hear. And to be honest, that's why their channel doesn't do so well for the kind of size that they have. He's right. Now let me give you an example of some of this ideology here, okay? Let's go to the whole Nashville, Tennessee State interview where these white guys came up to the school. Of course, they came up to the school without letting the school know. They kind of did a pop-up shop while their own speaker and set up a table. And again, this is against school policies. They wouldn't go to Harvard to do that or go to Yale. You have to have permission to go onto college campuses anywhere around the world. You just can't pull up and start having debates. But listen to the argument, or the debate rather, they're having with this young man.
Do you think that there's any law that allows me to do something that you can't do, for example? I don't think there's any laws that say that you can do something that I can't. But then again, this system can't be ignored. Like, we can't just say it doesn't, because there are countless examples.
It's not too late to outgrow the family hairline. Through HIMS, you can break the cycle and get the thicker, fuller hair of your dreams. Genetics started it, but our range of personalized treatments can help you get ahead.
Because there are countless examples of it existing.
So the young man, they're asking him, what do you think is in law that you can't do as a black person? And the young man responds, he says, listen, well, there's no law, but definitely we live in systemic oppressions in this time. And it's just there. Now, the young man may not be able to articulate all that he's saying, but there is some truth to it. But now, how do the Hodge twins interpret it?
This is why 96% of blacks vote Democrats. And black college and the popular vote. Yeah. But black people still think that this country's systemic racist. It's this dude. What do you think it is? That dude's got like a mental block somewhere.
So they start insulting the guy, calling him, in so many words, dumb, and black people are this and that. And they continue.
Well, bias that prevents him from using his brain. He's black. He grows up around black people. Everything he watches is black. He's living inside of a bubble.
You see the disparaging commentary that they're giving towards the young man. Not even those Charlie Kirk or MAGA supporters, the white guys, had even got that low. All right? He mentions that Barack Obama became the president and there was no racism going on in America. Well, let's see here, buddy. Barack Obama was the president from January 2009 to January 2017. What did we see during those years? I'll just give you a few. 2009, Oscar Grant, Oakland, California, got shot while he was completely subdued, okay? The BART officer, Johannes Mercerly, was convicted of involuntary manslaughter. Then you have, in 2010, Ayanna Stanley Jones of Detroit, Michigan, 7-year-old, killed during a police 12. Trayvon Martin, killed by George Zimmerman. Zimmerman. He was acquitted, but this case became a flashpoint for racial profile, right? Then we have, okay, in 2012, then 2013, Jonathan Farrell, 2013 again, Renisha McBride, then 2014 is where it really got hot. That was a really bad year. We have Eric Garner, John Crawford, Mike Brown, we got Black Lives Matter out of that, Akai Gurley, Tamir Rice. 2015 was brutal. There was Walter Scott in South Carolina. There was Freddie Gray, okay? Then Dylan Proof, the white supremacist, came into Charleston, South Carolina at Emmanuel AME during Bible study and killed all of those blacks for no reason. We have Sandra Bland. Then we have Laquan McDonald, who was shot 16 times in 2014, all right? But the video was released in 2015. Then we have 2016, we got Alton Sterling. We also, the day after Alton Sterling was killed, there was Orlando Castile in Minnesota. So what are these guys even talking about? Then these guys got into an argument about, like, you know, I think the conversation between the debater and the young man was, when was America great? Okay? I'm not going to play that part of the clip, but I do want you to hear the Hodge twins' response.
A lot of people on the left, they like to frame this question. Yeah. When was this country great? Right. This country's always been. He's hoping he's going to say back when slavery was alive. That's what he's hoping he's going to actually say. Yeah, this country's always been great, though. Yeah. There's been times when it's been greater. Yeah. But in the slave days, I don't think it was great.
Uh-oh. So you hear what's going on here. One of the twins says, well, yeah, the country must not have been that great during slavery. Rightfully so, because he is half black. But watch what he says then.
Yeah, of course, yeah. You gotta say that. Yeah. But I mean, still the best country in the world. Even though back then when we had slavery, systemically racism, I mean, that was just part of society. I'm not saying that was society all over around the world. Yeah, I'm not saying that was great, but it wasn't stretch of the imagination. Yeah, it wasn't isolated just to this country. That was going on all over the world when that was going on here. Right. Even whites were slaves. Yeah.
He turns to say, you know what? Well, that was going on around the world. Even whites were slaves. Okay? He's trying to mask the blow. So now he's trying to say, well, you know what? That was the culture around the world. And even there were some whites that were slaves.
Boy, y'all sit your stupid ass down. Who think you is?
Odds are you're an expert about the things you love. But when the people you love need expert care, trust the highly skilled healthcare system. 9 out of 10 Indiana doctors
that were slaves.
Boy, y'all sit your stupid ass down. Who think you is?
Okay, so what was the percentage of whites that were slaves in comparison to the blacks? Like, this is completely being disingenuous on purpose. And when somebody says that these guys are bootlicking or pandering, this is exactly what that means, all right? And when you're a content creator and all you do is pander to the right, become ridiculous. This is why guys don't like them, all right? Because not only are you guys, well, I won't, you know how you sound. I'll leave that alone. You be white. You guys pander so hard that nobody finds you that interesting. That's